22 male suspects something between my girlfriend, 22 female, and my friend, 21 male. We all live together. Am I imagining things? This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia and Riley. You're my imaginary roommate. You don't exist. I'm sorry to tell you.
What? So when the cameras aren't on, I'm not
You don't
here.
exist. Yeah, Riley is a figment of my imagination. So... And Nort says, I'm really freaking out right now because if what I suspect is true, this living situation is about to get really complicated. Please tell me I'm just crazy. Sorry if this is long. Background. We're two couples living together. We all attend the same university. The apartment was originally leased by my girlfriend of about 2 years, Alexis, 22 female, and our mutual friend, Brooke, 22 female. The apartment is huge and expensive. There was originally supposed to be 3 girls living there, but the last one backed out abruptly. They were planning on moving somewhere cheaper, but they had put a lot of work into the apartment and loved it so much they hated the idea of leaving. I offered to move in when my lease was up in May so we could split the rent and utilities 3 ways. I was sleeping over often. Anyways, both girls were absolutely ecstatic about the idea. Shortly before I moved in, Brooke started dating my best friend, Derek. He's his best friend. I'm nervous.
But like, Derek might be cool.
Derek might be cool.
Money, that Derek's cool.
But money.
Putting money on it.
This was cool because now both couples got to hang out with their best friends and significant others all at once.
Yay!
It seemed perfect. That does seem perfect. That seems like a great living situation.
Hopefully one day everyone in this house has a significant other and we can all hang out.
And we can all hang out and play board games.
Board games. What did you want to do laser tag?
Laser tag. I want to do laser tag. Or trampoline park specifically, actually. Sam wanted
I have an okay story time about a trampoline park.
Okay. Intriguing. It seemed perfect. Derek began sleeping over a lot. And when his parents sold their house and left in October, he temporarily moved in. We haven't really been pushing him to find a new place because splitting everything 4 ways is helping all of us so much. But again, only Alexis and Brooke are on the lease. The apartment owner surprisingly does not mind as long as rent gets paid because we're always quiet. There are 3 incidents that made me think something was up. If it weren't for these combined incidents, I would never make an accusation like this because Alexis is such a sweet and shy girl and Derek has been a brother to me. They don't seem flirty, but as I mentioned before, all 4 of us are very close friends, so we spend a lot of time together.
Who's Derek dating?
Derek is dating Brooke. Okay. And Alexis is dating OP. But they all live together, even though Alexis and Brooke are the only ones on the lease.
Okay, cool. So Alexis and Brooke, best friends. Derek and OP best friends. Derek, Brooke, OP, Alexis.
Yes.
Got it.
Done. Incident 1. MWF?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Brooke and I have early classes, so we're gone by 8 a.m. Derek and Alexis start in the afternoon, so it's not unusual for them to leave together, though they usually take separate cars. One of these days, I decided to wait for Alexis outside of her class so I could surprise her with lunch. I watched everyone shuffle out of the class, but Alexis wasn't with them. I texted her asking where she was, and she replied, just got out of class, gonna go home to study. But gonna surprise her with lunch. I called her to see if I had just barely missed her or something, and there was no response, which I considered weird because she had just texted me seconds ago. She didn't answer until much later, which is also unusual for her. She's one of those girls that's often on her phone. I ran into Brooke later in the day, and she mentioned in passing that Derek had stayed home sick. She was going to bring him soup, blah, blah. That's what it says, blah, blah. At that time, I didn't think much of it.
What kind of soup?
Cheating soup.
Oh, the worst kind.
When I got home later that night, I noticed Alexis's car was in the exact same spot. So she didn't leave for class. Maybe she didn't go to class at all, and Derek stayed home. She usually parks in our guest parking because our unit only has 3 spaces. As a result, her car moves a lot. I asked her if she'd gone to class, and she got quiet before sheepishly admitting to skipping because she felt the professor sucked at explaining things. But she knows I hate when she skips class, something that's gotten her grades in trouble before, but she recently started doing better.
Interesting.
I don't know. Let her skip class. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it was affecting her grades, that's nice of you to care.
So
but
she just lied right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think that's damning. I don't think it's damning.
It was just conveniently at the same time as Derek.
I skipped class. You're tired. You don't want to go to class.
True.
So I don't think she's damned herself yet.
Okay. True. Minor so far.
Minor. I kissed her and said I trusted her judgment. While I was doing the dishes, she explained how she probably won't skip again because being bored alone in the house was the worst. I laughed and we went about our business.
But she wasn't alone.
At night, we went to bed. And as I laid there drifting off, it hit me. She shouldn't have been alone because Derek was home sick. Right? She was still up on her phone, so I popped awake. He's literally like, Derek!
No. He goes... Like,
I just can't lean that far back.
Do it.
Derek. Yeah.
Straight 90 degrees.
90 degree angle.
Yep.
Straight up. He
Laying
goes,
down 90
Derek.
degree.
And that's what he did. So I popped awake and asked her where Derek was today, since Brooke had said he was homesick. She seemed startled by that question, but that may have been from me being half asleep to suddenly wide awake with a random question. He's literally like, Derek. And she's like, whoa, Jesus. And he's like, I knew it. That's what I'm getting at.
That seems accurate.
Yeah. She said he was here a bit in the morning, but went to do errands or something. She wasn't sure. After the other incidents, I realized the scattered way she answered this question seemed off, but that may just be my imagination.
Okay.
There's another incident, but I feel so far, I think she's in the clear.
Yeah. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy has happened. I also think she's warranted for being a little bit startled and scattered when he woke up from slumber to ask her about Derek. She's like, Derek? I don't know. You went to the store?
Yeah. I'll give him this.
And she's about to go to bed.
Anything.
No. I don't think there's anything going on yet. Incident 2. I went to throw some stuff out in the kitchen garbage when I noticed a condom wrapper that was the exact same brand Alexis and I use. It wasn't super visible, sort of tucked behind a cereal box, but the distinctive color caught my eye. Brooke and Derek always use a different brand, free from the university health centers, while ours are expensive Trojans. Okay, slightly more suspicious, but Derek and Brooke could have been just like, "Hey, we ran out. Can we borrow?"
That makes sense.
Yeah. They all live together. Brooke and Alexis are best friends.
I could see Alexis giving Brooke one and not saying anything.
Yeah. Why would she? Why would she go to her boyfriend and be like, hey, I lent Alexis and Derek, Brooke and Derek a condom. Just thought I'd let you know.
They had sexy time.
Yes.
They needed.
Just thought you had to know.
Keep you in the loop when everyone has sex around here.
It was weird because we usually keep the wrappers in our respective rooms' garbage cans, so they never appear in the kitchen. Furthermore, because of exams and general stress, Alexis and I hadn't slept together in a few days. I didn't really dig around for a used condom or anything. I just went back to the room to check if any of ours were missing. I really couldn't tell because we buy in bulk. He's like, I really couldn't tell because we do it all the time. My first thought was that Brooke and Derek had ran out and broke into our stash, and I was upset that they hadn't even asked. Later that night, I mentioned the condom wrapper to Alexis, and her eyes got wide. When I mentioned my theory, she got unusually distressed. She's always very calm, and went on a rant about them violating our privacy. I suggested we talk to them about it, and she immediately shut the idea down and made me swear not to bring it up unless they did it again. She didn't want to have this awkward conversation, which was weird to me because we're all generally pretty open about sex given that we live together. Though it's possible that Alexis was being genuine because she's from a small conservative town and she doesn't talk about these things as much as we do. More incidents.
Okay, the fact that they're open about talking about the deed and then she's like, we're not going to talk about it now. Because I feel like if you talk about like if I go to Sam and be like, yo, did you borrow anything out of my room? And he was like, yeah. I'd be like, cool, but I'll just give it to you next time. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, would you, so they have enough. They don't know for sure. Do you bring that up after it's only happened once? I don't know if I would bring it. I don't know if I would like.
I think I'd bring it up and be like, LOL, that's hilarious that you ran out.
But then maybe they're like, we bought this brand. Someone lent me this brand.
I don't know.
I think
but it's just weird that she shut down the conversation very quickly.
Yeah. A little bit more suspicious.
A little bit more.
Getting a little bit suspicious meter is going up. Incident number 3. Me and Derek are cool with the dudes in the apartment next to us, who are graduates from our university. We don't hang out or anything, but we have the kind of relationship where we have small talk about sports or whatever in the hall and are comfortable asking the others to keep it down without it being awkward. Last Monday during our break, I was locking up when no one else was at the apartment when I ran into one of the guys from next door. We talked football for a bit, and then he mentioned that one of the couples in the apartment is really a fan of morning sex and that the walls were way too thin. I laughed because Alexis and I usually had sex weekend mornings when we had the house to ourselves. Brooke and Derek usually spent weekends at our parents' house about an hour and a half away. The more I thought about it later in the day, the more I realized we haven't been having morning sex in about a month. On the weekends, it had been towards the evening or not at all. Did he mean on weekdays? My heart sort of dropped. I kind of wanted to ask him to elaborate, but the conversation ended and I feel like I missed my chance. Plus, it's a weird thing to ask and I feel like I must be being paranoid.
No. If it's bros and you're talking about it.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute.
Can I just like clarify something?
Yeah,
real quick?
You talking about morning? You talking about weekends?
What time of day specifically?
Is it bothering you? We'll keep it down. Just give me the exact time.
A bro would be a bro and be like, this is when I would know. And he would be like, oh no, you're getting cheated on.
Yeah.
Bro would be there for you.
Yeah. So there you have it, r/relationships. Am I crazy? Am I looking for signs that aren't there, or is something up? And if so, how do I proceed? I don't want to ask her just yet because 1, I don't want to come off as crazy and jealous if nothing's up. 2, if something is up, I don't want them to start hiding it better. I was thinking of dropping by one of those mornings they're alone together, but I don't know how to time it right. If I drop by too early or late, they might get more cautious. I think there is an update.
There is. Okay, good.
There's an update. I think that all of these things could be explained.
Yeah.
But they all could be signs of cheating. I think it goes both ways.
It does.
Yeah.
Do you mention something?
I don't know if you can mention something with that little proof.
Yeah, I think it's good to keep in mind.
Yeah.
And even though you are slightly suspicious, it is kind of like...
I think they're just that, suspicions.
Yeah.
And I feel like broaching them any further, like by having conversation about it would be really risky.
It would be. It's like looking through the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you bring that up, you're like, it's not good.
But
not
like,
good.
Would you want to know if your partner was cheating on you? Would you want to like figure it out? How would you figure it out? Like this? Like dropping by one morning? Or would you just like try to keep it out of your mind?
No, I mean, I would want to know. I guess if I was having suspicions, I don't know. I don't know what I would do, but I think that for this person, for OP, I think, the best course of action may just try and drop by.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like that's your house. You can drop by, so it's not like violating a certain thing.
This is true.
But yeah, I know. I think there's already lack of trust, so it's not great.
I'm like, my crazy mind's going like, oh, video cameras, da. But like, that's very icky, sticky. You don't want to get into that.
No.
But if it's happening,
I don't know.
This is so tough.
I don't know. What would you guys in the comments? What would you do if you thought your partner was cheating on you,
but you don't have enough proof?
But yeah, because I don't like the going through the phone. I'm against that.
Dropping by seems very plausible.
Dropping by seems okay. I think that's the best course of action because it's so normal of a thing to do.
Yeah, but like spying or like other things, that's like
just go home. And if if something's up, you'll find it. But yeah.
Because what if he's wrong and you did all that stuff?
Yeah, it would be bad. All right. Update 1. The majority of you suggested that I speak to Brooke and or attempt to walk in on the act. I decided on doing both.
Whoa. Talking to Brooke?
Oh my God. People said talking to Brooke. I guess like communication is good, but I don't know. That's dangerous communication.
I don't know how I feel about talking to Brooke.
I don't know either. I don't know how that will go down, but we're about to find out.
Okay.
Sunday night, everyone was back in the apartment. I had every intention of speaking to Brooke about the neighbor's comment alone, but before I could, she said something that completely threw me off.
Okay, the neighbor's comment, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. But before I could, she said something that completely threw my theory off. She told Derek to get to bed so he wouldn't be tired for work in the morning. What? Brooke did. Okay. I knew Derek had a job on campus, but he had always worked the same night shifts. Being as casual as possible, I inquired how long he'd been working mornings and when he started. He said he picked up the extra shifts a month ago and worked at 9. I leave at 7:45, so it's possible for me not to have noticed that. I spent the rest of the night trying trying to figure out whether he was lying about that, whether he still had some mornings here at home, whether Alexis could be seeing someone other than Derek in the mornings, like some of you suggested, or again, if I was just a paranoid loser. I went to bed feeling emotionally drained and confused. I feel like one thing is also to see how Alexis and Derek are interacting in a public setting.
Yeah. He said she was a shy girl.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like there's any flirtatious vibes.
Yeah, I feel like you can kind of, I mean, sometimes you can't see it all, of course. But like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes you can see something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like are they avoiding each other a lot? Because that's also, are their interactions the exact same as before?
Yeah, like the nonverbal communications.
Yeah. The next morning, I left for classes as usual and operated on autopilot. I alternated between thinking I'd run home to check on Alexis and thinking I had way too much work to run around based on a theory that I wasn't even sure about anymore. In the end, I walked out of my first class and straight to my car to go home. In a weird way, I sort of wish I hadn't. When I got to the apartment, Derek's car wasn't there.
Yeah.
Just Alexis's.
Oh.
I walked to the apartment with my heart pounding all sorts of crazy. I don't know what I was expecting. Outside the apartment door, I could immediately hear a guy's voice inside. I heard him talking and laughing and a soft feminine mumble replying and giggling back. I've been on the subreddit long enough to see all the different reactions people have to the situation. I never once contemplated what I'd do. I pressed my ear to the door to see if I could make out what they were saying, but I could only make out a word here or there. There was a lot of giggling. Then I heard the sound of Alexis being tickled and shrieking. Maybe I should have waited more. In retrospect, I wish I did, but I couldn't take it. As soon as I started fiddling with my keys, it was dead silence in there. She was effing Mark.
Who's Mark?
Who's Mark?
What? Mark entered the chat.
Mark. I never mentioned Mark in the previous post, but he's one of the guys in the apartment next to us. Not the one that tipped me off.
Oh, so like...
I actually was thinking about that. I was like, if it is someone else, what if it's the other guy from the apartment?
Yo.
Oh my God.
Loki, one of his roommates ratted him out.
Yeah, maybe they like ratted him out because like in the sneakiest way they could.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
No.
Wow. Don't. Your neighbor? You will have to live there. You're wild. God, people are messy. He's the only one I never liked. Effing know-it-all douchebag attitude, always made inappropriate comments towards both girls. What is Alexis doing with this guy? Never thought anything of it. As soon as I opened the door, they both gave me a deer in headlights look that removed any naive doubt I may have retained that the situation was innocent. I was planning on yelling at them or demanding answers, but, and this is effing embarrassing, my eyes began to well with tears. I didn't want them to see that, so I said, nice, real effing nice, and bolted back to my car.
Nice.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, you don't want to cry right there.
Oh. I heard Alexis yelling my name in the hallway and picked up the pace. I sort of expected her to be chasing me, but by the time I got to the car, there was no one following me. I drove to a park that's near the apartment and sat there in disbelief. My first thought, weirdly enough, was how is my family going to take this? What the hell am I going to tell them? My family effing loved Alexis. They joked about her wedding and regularly called her part of the family. Then I started to think about living arrangements. Our finals end in about 2 weeks. There's no way I could handle moving now. I'm applying to an extremely competitive graduate program and I can't let anything get in the way of that. Definitely not this cheating bee.
Honestly, best course of action. Bro, lock in and then just like find a buddy to live with. But bro's about to get into that. He's about to get into the graduate program. No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
No, you got to get, yeah. Don't even focus on that. Just like
use all that pain and energy. Don't cry yet. Keep that in.
Tell Derek and Brooke and be like, hey, can I stay in your room? I don't know. Yeah, the living
Bro's got to find a friend to live with, but then lock in and you're good.
Yeah. Just get into that graduate program.
There you go.
Lordy.
Yikes.
Oh my God. I'm writing this from a friend's house. Okay, that's good. I explained the situation. He explained it to his parents and they welcomed me to stay in their home.
Dude, W friend.
That's good.
What's your friend's name?
Yeah.
Not Mark?
Not Mark, not Derek. I'm going to have to go. I feel bad for Derek. Derek was like thrown under the bus.
But he didn't like, it was just a suspicion.
Yeah, that's true.
But then he was completely ruled out.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back home to get some clothes sometime. But I feel like he could ask Brooke or Derek.
Ask Derek.
Yeah,
Derek's
don't go
bro.
back. I'm planning on going during this lab period. I know Alexis can't skip tomorrow. It took her an hour or so to start blowing up my phone But once she did, it didn't stop. She started off asking me to come home so she could explain. Before I even had the chance to respond, she sent another one begging me to come back because she was having an anxiety attack, something I always help her through. Maybe I'm heartless, but all I could think was good. You earned it. There was a pause, and then she sent, I don't know why you get so jealous. We were just hanging out. You liar. I waited. She sent, look, I know it looks super sketchy. Believe me, if I were you, I'd think the same thing, but we didn't do anything. He needed advice on his girl problems. You have to believe me. No, I don't. Yeah, you do not have to believe that. Normally, I would have gotten a weird sense of satisfaction watching a cheater scramble to cover their ass, but my stupid brain just kept replaying all these great times we had together and wondering if she was cheating then too. I want to know when this started, but at the same time, I'm worried it's been going on for longer than the month I've suspected something. I don't know. It might have been going on a little bit longer, but probably when you notice the signs, that was around when it started.
I don't know. I don't think we could know when it started.
That's true.
Ugh, poor guy.
It's so sad. Like lost his his apartment, his girlfriend.
Bro's got, really what bro's got now?
Graduate program.
Motivation.
Yeah. He's like, I've got to be the best man.
Bro's got motivation. Yeah. A bad breakup will make a man do anything.
If you say so.
I know.
I received a text later that night from a number I didn't recognize. It was the nice dude from next door. He said, paraphrasing because it was a long text, that he got my number from Derek. He was extremely sorry for what I was going through and that he would have told me sooner, but he wasn't completely sure. He said he knew his friend was seeing a girl with a boyfriend, but didn't put it together until he learned the girl's name. As many of you suspected, the comment was him trying to tip me off. I knew it.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess he's bro of the year. That's what a bro move, quite frankly.
Yeah, because bro also couldn't be like, hey bud.
Yeah.
Putting that out there, my
bud is
my
cheating.
roommate is with a girl with a boyfriend, so you might need to you couldn't do that. Good bro move.
Because it doesn't, he didn't outright say it, so he's not causing problems with his roommate, but that's good of him. I don't think Derek and Brooke know yet. I haven't texted them. I haven't found the words. I know it's going to turn our living arrangement and friendships upside down. I guess I should message them before Alexis paints a different picture. I wonder what the cool neighbor said when he asked for my number. I don't think he told them. They would have said something, right? Unless they took her side. Then I've lost my girlfriend and friends.
Oh.
No. Oh. Any advice on coping with something like this, especially from those who have been there before, please let me know. I don't have many friends to reach out to besides the guy I'm staying with. Alexis, Brooke, and Derek were basically my family. Alexis and I had talked about spending our lives together. I have never been serious about a girl the way I was with her. And edit, I'm seriously moved by the amount of support you guys are giving me. Please keep them coming. I may not reply to all the comments, but I've read each one and on both posts. I'm going to tell Derek and Brooke soon. I'll try to do a follow-up when I have some sort of plan, and there is an update. Oh, wow. What
do you do here?
Well, I think definitely talk to Brooke and Derek and be like, hey, this is what happened. That's why I'm no longer living at the place.
Yeah.
I'm going to be trying to find a new apartment. I just wanted to let you know because that's,
Do we beat up Mark?
No, we can't beat up people.
But what if Mark is out in public and you see him?
No.
Do we beat up Mark?
You go.
What if you're bigger than Mark and you can take him?
Well, then Mark's not going to try and beat up you, so you shouldn't beat up Mark.
Okay.
We don't resort to violence here on Okeopi.
Okay. All right. Just Mark. Yeah.
Mark, watch out.
Watch out, Mark. We'll come for you.
We'll come for you.
We'll find
update.
You on the
there is an update though.
Okay.
Update 2. You wonderful mother effers. Between the comments to both posts and my inbox, I have an immense collection of personalized pep talks, which I'm referring to whenever I feel down. Admittedly, a lot these days. Oh no. I got advice stories from all sorts of people, married, single, old, young. Wow, I never thought the internet would bring me this level of support. I just want you guys to know that by typing up some comments, you have made a very real difference in someone's life. Gotta say, it feels a little strange receiving 6 Reddit gold and making it to r/best of just for sharing the worst day of my life. Haha. Ooh, yeah, that's rough. I got a lot of messages urging me to join Red Pill. This experience has soured my view of Alexis, not women in general. What is Red Pill? Is that like an incel website?
It has to be.
It's gotta be.
If you hate what, like.
Yeah, they're like, this is proof that all women are the worst.
Red Pill Reddit, the discussion of sexual strategy in the culture increasingly lacking a positive identity for men.
Incel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes. I'm glad if you didn't do that. I got some messages saying I write too well and this is obviously made up. I have 2 words for you. I wish. A clarification on the last update. I wasn't clear about what I saw when I walked in. They weren't literally effing. They were just sitting on the couch with a deer in headlights look that was incredibly incriminating, and they both went quiet. It was just obviously not a, hey, guess who dropped by situation. Anyways, on to the update. I've been extremely busy with the semester ending, and I took the majority's advice to bury my head in work. I spent a lot of time at the library because Alexis never goes there. In the process of posting the last update, I realized how dumb it was that I hadn't contacted Derek and Brooke with my side. I screenshotted the text from the cool neighbor, Will. Side note, all names have been changed except Mark because F you, Mark. That's so funny. Within the minute, Derek was blowing up my phone with calls and texts that made it apparent he didn't know. At the same time, Alexis was sending texts begging me to meet up with her. I was feeling miserable and sent back a single text to Derek saying I wasn't feeling up to talking, then put my phone away for the night. In the morning, I got a text saying to meet him at my favorite restaurant for dinner and drinks on him, assuring me that no one would be there, not even Brooke. I haven't had an appetite since everything went down, but the offer meant a lot and I really did want to see him, so I decided to go after classes. Derek's a good friend.
He is a good friend.
You know, it was up in the air there for the second there. We thought he was cheating. He's not.
He's not. Good friend. W friend.
I got to the restaurant first, and I had my heart in my throat worrying that Alexis would somehow be there, but she wasn't. Derek came up to me and gave me a big hug and opened with, dude, what the F? That's a bro. That's a bro. So here's where shit gets a bit crazy and dramatic. A lot of you suggested that Brooke might side with Alexis or had been covering up for her the whole time. I wasn't so sure because while she is closer to Alexis, her and I have been friends for a bit longer. According to Derek, as soon as he told Brooke, she was absolutely furious. In his words, I sort of wanted to be Alexis out, but Brooke took care of that and then some. Remember how I said Alexis came from a conservative small town? Her parents had no idea that we were living together, and she constantly stressed that they couldn't know or they cut her off financially. They liked me enough to be polite, but they were constantly worried a relationship would distract her from school and didn't want her getting pregnant or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem like it did distract her because she wasn't going to class. Not
not because
OPs.
of
No,
OP.
not OPs. I meant the cheating.
Yeah,
not OP's relationship.
They should have been worried if she would have gotten in too many relationships.
Yeah. Derek said that Brooke demanded Alexis pack her things and find a new place or she'd call up her parents and tell them everything. Whoa. But she's on the lease. Like illegally. But yeah, I guess she's caught in between. Wow.
Blackmail.
Oh my God. This is literally blackmail because she's on the lease.
That's tough.
Oh my God. Derek told me that later that night, Alexis was sitting in the living room, hugging a sweater I'd left behind and wailing at the top of her lungs that her life was over. When Brooke yelled from her bedroom, well, maybe you shouldn't have effed Mark then. Imagining that moment was kind of very funny. Brooke's always been a very no-nonsense girl with a hot temper, but I definitely didn't expect this. It was extremely touching that she took the cheating that seriously. During the dinner, all of my fears that I'd lost my friends were completely washed away, and I was able to choke down a few pieces of sushi. I was just thinking, I really wanted sushi.
I thought you had sushi recently. Saturday.
In San Diego, yeah. Not Saturday.
What'd you have with your friend?
Onigiri.
Oh.
Not the sushi.
Sushi sounds great.
Yeah. When we left dinner, Derek promised to let me know when Alexis was gone so I could move back in. I declined his offer because, one, even if she does move out, everything in that apartment reminds me of her, including Derek and Brooke. Aww. But number two, Alexis and Mark probably effed in my room, so I really don't want to sleep in it. Number three, in the current emotional state I'm in, I don't want to be third wheeling a happy couple, even though I'm sure they'd be considerate. He understood my points, but said to let him know if I changed my mind because Brooke and Alexis's friendship seems to be over. This week has been pretty uneventful, but I keep having to dodge Alexis. Luckily, I'm in an undergraduate program that only has 60 students, so we have a lot of our classes together. I asked two friends to keep an eye out for her after giving them them a Spark Notes of the story and started showing up to class at the last minute. As far as I know, she only waited outside of one of my classes. I got a text saying B has been spotted in front of classroom. Waterworks in progress. Proceed with caution. I ended up skipping the class because I didn't know if she was going to leave, and I really didn't want to risk it.
That sounded like whenever boys play video games.
B has been spotted in front of classroom. Waterworks in progress. Proceed with caution.
Yes, dude, that was perfect.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
What can't she do? Voice acting wise.
a litany of other things outside of the voice acting. Later that night, she sent me a really long Facebook message explaining everything from the beginning, and it sort of made me sick to read. I contemplated not reading it, but once I opened it, I just had to. She said that he'd been flirty with her in the halls. As I mentioned before, he would say inappropriate shit to both girls, and she tried to be friendly back, but it must have come off as flirting because he kissed her mid-sentence one day. Oh my God, that's just assault. That's just assault. She said she felt guilty that she led him on, and that guilt prevented her from shooting him down in future advances because she felt like it was her fault it happened. And she had trouble saying no. No. It would, okay, if she had not done anything else, this would not have been her fault at all. Yeah. If he had kissed her and she had made, she was like, no.
No, slap, tell boyfriend, you're good.
Yeah. Even if she hadn't said no in the situation, because I understand like being afraid to tell a man that you're alone in a hallway with, no. But like you go tell the boyfriend, you're like, hey, this happened. It made me very uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what she did. She said they had only slept together 3 times and she hated it. He had pushed her into it. Quote, not rape, but I don't know. I never said yes either. Oh, this is bad. And she was going to end it during the conversation I walked in on. She said she understood if I needed some time and some space, but that she'd do absolutely anything to make it right and would spend the rest of her life making it up to me by treating me like a king. I'd never have to cook, clean, or do my laundry again, to give me full access to her phone and passwords. She even suggested we install Life 360, an app that allows you to track someone's location through their phone, so I would know where she was at all times, cut off all contact with Mark and all our male friends, just for good measure, I guess, and make up sex whenever I wanted. This, it really sounds like Alexis doesn't have a healthy relation. Like Alexis needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's really willing to do whatever the men in her life want her to do, which is really scary.
Like she doesn't have respect for herself, it looks like.
Yeah. No, like I understand being afraid to say no, but like, yeah, this is something you should go to therapy for.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. OP continues, yeah, that sounds like a healthy relationship, right? I didn't answer. I kind of wanted to keep her on Facebook and watch the shit show unfold. She was posting dramatic statuses and song lyrics about mistakes, forgiveness, and some from our song. But I know how I am, and I don't want to compulsively check her page or go through old photos. So I blocked her. Derek sent me a text a few hours later saying she's crying and screaming about you blocking her, LOL. She just does not seem in a good place. In happier news, the family I'm staying with is fantastic. I felt a little guilty about taking up their space, electricity, etc., so I offered to put down rent and pay for some bills. I'm unemployed, but my family gives me a decent allowance for rent and food, but they declined. The dad said, "First month's free. If you need more time here, then we'll talk about it," and winked. This family's great. My friend was telling me that they have hosted his and his sister's troubled friends, so it wasn't a big deal. Still, I'm unbelievably grateful.
Aww.
That's kind of, yeah. We've hosted a lot of troubled people here before. Like, oh, am I one of those troubled people?
I feel like this is happening in Boston during the winter, and there's a lot of snow happening.
What?
I don't know why.
You just getting that vibe?
I just get that vibe right now.
Well, we know that the date, do we not?
It's in December.
So, okay, so that's
winter right there in the States.
It is winter. As for Will, awesome neighbor, I called him to thank him for everything. I wasn't up to inviting him for dinner just yet, but I will. He apologized profusely. He says he can't stand Mark, not just for what he did with Alexis, but various other things that I won't go into. He told me that Mark has been unusually quiet the past few days and told another one of the guys that he had gotten dumped. Whatever, I don't want to think about it. So that's really all I have for you guys. I'm still going to be friends with Derek and Brooke, but I'm going to limit my contact with them because they remind me of Alexis so much.
No.
Oh, but they're such good friends. I sent Brooke a message thanking her for kicking Alexis out, and she said she'd do it regardless of whether or not I move back in. She's going to give me a heads up on when Alexis is gone so I can get the rest of my things. In the meantime, I'm spending a lot of time studying, applying to grad schools, and hanging out with the guys I'm living with. Earlier this week, I posted on my university's Facebook group searching for roommates for next semester, and I already have a few replies. I'm going to wait until after finals to tell my parents about the situation because my mom asks a million questions about everything, and I'm not in the mood to answer them. Again, thank you for all the messages. I didn't expect this level of attention, and while it has made me a bit paranoid someone will recognize the story for the details, F it, I needed the support. And there is another update.
Wow. He's handling it
well.
Very well.
Yeah.
It's nice that he has a good group of friends around him. The family took him in.
I feel bad because it's sad that like he wants to, kind of distance himself from Brooke and Derek, who seem like they're very supportive. Like that kind of sucks.
But it's like, I've never been cheated on, but I can only imagine how that feels.
Yeah. And I understand like not wanting to be around people that remind you of the person, but don't let that person also distance you from your friends.
Yeah, this is true. I hope, and like you said with Alexis, she definitely needs therapy. That's crazy that she would say
very
that.
Unhealthy mindset.
But I feel like she's doing whatever she can to like get
that's what I'm wondering.
Life.
I'm like, is she just saying this for excuses? Is that how she actually feels?
I think she's just saying it for excuses.
Yeah, I don't know. But if she actually feels this way, then she definitely needs to go to therapy because that's dangerous mindset.
And Mark being sad about being dumped with, dude, you knew what you were getting yourself into.
You were in a relationship with a person who was in a relationship.
Come on, bro.
Yikes. Update 3. Well, I really wasn't planning on updating, but a lot of you have prodded for one, and I do owe you guys after all the wonderful support I received. Once finals ended, I did well given the circumstances. Good. Good job. Everything hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, almost worse than the initial insult. I removed all my social media pictures with her, threw out stuff that reminded me of her, took her songs off my playlist, yada yada. We've been inseparable since we met, so this was over 2 years of accumulated memories.
Ooh. Oh.
Ouch. Long story short, it was very hard, but I had an urge to get it all done before the new year. The whole cliche New Year, New Me thing, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, one particular Redditor sent me a message about how Alexis might be driven to suicide now that she's lost everything. Her closest friends, her boyfriend, and her apartment. I know that seemed like an over-dramatic prediction, but I couldn't get it out of my mind after reading it. What Alexis did was absolutely freaking terrible, but I feel like a final conversation might give me better closure and maybe help her understand that it's completely over and get her to move on. So I plan to meet with her before everyone went home for break. A lot of you were big on the icing her out, so I'm genuinely sorry to disappoint, but I had to do this for me. I sent Alexis, if you want to talk, we can meet up somewhere, but there's no way we can be together after what happened, so please don't ask.
That's nice of him to do this.
Yeah. She responded almost immediately, asking where and when. We arranged to meet at an off-campus coffee place. When I got there, she was already at a table and got up to hug me. I waved her away and she jerked back like a puppy that had been kicked. I felt bad immediately, but I wanted to get it over with. We made some stupid small talk. She asked how I'd been, how were finals, etc., but I sort of interrupted it. I asked her if she had been unhappy with our relationship. Her eyes got real wide and she said no a bunch of times and got quiet. So I asked her why if she wasn't unhappy. Basically, she retold the story about having trouble saying no and him being so pushy. I stopped her and asked her to cut the BS and just take responsibility. That maybe it excused her actions up until he kissed her mid-sentence, but sex 3 times? Yeah, no. She looked down, shrugged, and muttered, "You're right. I know." At this point, she started tearing up and said she was sorry, that I never understand how sorry she was. Then she asked if there was any chance we could be together again, which I was kind of expecting even though I told her not to. I just shook my head. I told her she could still live with Derek and Brooke if she wanted to, but she declined and told me she already had plans to move in with another girlfriend of hers. From here on out, the conversation went in circles with her trying to explain away her actions with her difficulty turning down guys due to her fear of being seen as a frigid bee and me trying to get her to admit that excuse was garbage. I don't know why. I just really needed her to stop using that crutch and admit that she had ruined a perfectly good relationship with a very real future all on her own. But she just wouldn't. She was always stubborn. Finally, I let it go and we parted ways somewhat amicably. As I was leaving, she grabbed my hand and parted her lips to say something, but ended up shaking her head and letting go. The conversation made me feel worse than I had before at first, but ultimately it really made me see that she was never the kind of person I wanted to be with, even even without the cheating. She never took responsibility for anything. Failed classes were because the professor was incompetent. Not finding a job internship was bad luck and not her lack of effort, etc. I just never really thought about it too hard. I think I was still in the honeymoon stage or something. Something equals I'm an idiot sometimes.
Dang.
Ooh, and there's more, but let's take a break because that was a lot.
Some clarity right there.
Yeah, I'm glad that they talked about it, even though like it's sad that she's still not taking responsibility for it.
Yeah, that's a deep issue right there.
Yeah.
I really want to know the real reason why. Like, do you think she found Mark attractive and she was like, "Ooh, this is fun, keeping it a secret"?
It could have been like she could be telling the truth in her eyes. You know, she could be like, "Oh, well, he kept asking, and so I didn't feel like I could say no." But I think she's just not recognizing the like sex 3 times is not, you know,
a good enough excuse for that. Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And it still seems she wants this relationship.
But I'm glad that like OP also realized that it's not just this. There are other aspects that he wasn't happy with the relationship and he just didn't realize.
That's a great point. Like,
there were other red flags.
There were other red flags. And it's hard to see those red flags while you're, you know, in love.
Yeah.
Yikes. It's tough. But good thing she's like not going to want to, you know, off herself.
Yeah, we hope that is not what happens. But I do think I do think at the end of the day she does need therapy.
She definitely does need therapy.
Because this is a very unhealthy mindset.
Yeah.
Maybe she's in therapy. We don't know.
Get her in therapy.
If she's not, she should go. But let us finish up this story. So at this point, I leave the coffee place and ask Derek to hang out. I ended up going to the apartment, and although Brooke was there, she mostly stayed in her room. We drank some beers and played some video games. It really cheered me up. We also talked a bit about everything that happened. He admitted that they hadn't been able to find a third roommate. Aside from complete strangers, they'd rather not move in, and asked me to stay with them again. I could tell he really wanted me to, and I felt guilty about them being stuck with the lease, so I accepted. I told them I needed to wait until Alexis took all her things though. The furniture is hers from before I even moved in, and I still don't want to sleep in that bed. Also, Brooke apologized for getting so involved in the situation and yelling at Alexis. Apparently her stepdad had cheated on her mom, and it's a sore subject for her. I told her I genuinely didn't mind, and she was welcome to do it again if the mood struck her. I also bought Will some food and drinks at a great place near campus. A lot of you want to know the other shit Mark had done that had Will so pissed off. Apparently he had been harassed to pay rent, claimed he couldn't contribute to any of the household expenses like dish soap, light bulbs, cleaning supplies, and regularly came in yelling and laughing at odd hours and agreeing to keep it down, then carrying on at the same volume. The standard douchebag roommate crap, really. Will is a really cool guy. We talked a lot about the situation with Alexis, but also about school and sports. It was actually pretty fun. I eventually did tell my folks about the situation, and as expected, my mom bombarded me with 1,000 questions and cried a lot. So that was fun. Going home made me feel a little bit better, but my older brother got engaged on Christmas Eve, and given the recent circumstances, I wasn't as excited for him as I should have been. Which made me feel like a bad sibling. Plus, it's all my family can talk about now, and I'm just not in the mood. This is so sad.
Are you tearing up?
No, but it is sad.
You look like you're tearing up a little bit.
It's the light. I'm just sad. This is a depressing story. I want it to get better. I mean, I guess it is better in some ways, but it's also very sad in other ways.
Yeah.
Life isn't perfect now, but I'm doing better. Okay, that's good. Yay. I hope you get into graduate school. Alexis moved her stuff out, and I bought a secondhand bed and dresser off another student. I had my first round of classes last week, and although I'm going to sound like a total nerd, the courses are really cool, hands-on, and the professors are incredibly cool people. Derek and Brooke have been really supportive and don't make me feel like a third wheel at all. I saw Mark in the hallway once, and he totally ignored me, and I ignored him, but the urge to punch him in the face was very real. I get that. I guess that's something that will go away over time. I almost wanted to call him out in the whole thing, but with the kind of person Will had described, the conversation would have gotten me nowhere and probably pissed me off more. Sorry, this update isn't as exciting as the previous ones. Thank you for your love and support, Reddit. It really, really helped me through such a bad time.
I'm just glad you're doing okay.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, that you're out of that situation.
Yes.
You have a place to live.
Yep.
And you're doing well in your classes.
Yeah, and you like your classes.
Yeah, that's great. Those are all good things.
New you.
New year, new you.
Yikes.
Yeah. Wow, wowie.
But got to keep the friends.
Yes.
Got rid of the toxic girl. And honestly,
got a new friend, Will.
New friend, Will.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have flipped off Mark.
Yeah, I feel like he could have been like
a good one of these.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. The urge to like do something to Mark, but I probably would do nothing. I would just probably be as calm as I possibly could, and that's what would kill him.
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't even care. Didn't even want to be in that relationship. You like walking, you're walking. And that's your look to Mark. Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever.
Wow. I do have an okay story time.
Yeah. Riley has an okay story time about a trampoline park, which has nothing to do with the story, but
you mentioned trampoline
park. I did briefly mention a trampoline park.
Okay. This is pretty raw. I may have told this already, but I don't think I've told it to you, Sophia. I was at a trampoline park once and there was a hole in a trampoline. And I went to one of the workers and I was like, yo, bro, why is there a hole in this trampoline?
Sure. And
he said, what I'm about to tell you, you can't tell anyone else. But this happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
So
you're telling everyone.
I'm telling everyone.
Yeah.
Of course. And I was the last person he should have told.
Yeah, of course.
So if this is graphic, if you don't like graphic, please skip 60 seconds ahead because I'm about to explain some graphic things.
Trigger warning. I actually don't know what the trigger warning's for, but what's a brief thing of the trigger warning?
Maybe a minute and a half.
Wait, what are we trigger warning for?
Broken bone.
Broken bone trigger warning. Skip a minute and a half. We'll put a thing.
Yep.
Okay.
So there was this platform and it's like you run, jump over one platform, then you jump again over a platform and then you run up a wall. Well, there's this like big hefty dude that did it. He jumped over one, got on the other one, fell, he landed, snapped his leg. The bone went through his leg, through the trampoline. And everyone like screamed and panicked and they had to get the ambulance. And there was a hole, I kid you not, this big around in the trampoline.
Oh my God.
It was horrifying.
That's horrifying. You weren't there though. This is just what the trampoline park employee was telling you.
Exactly.
That's horrible. Wow, that was a horrific story.
Yeah, but
oh my God.
You want another horrific story?
I guess so.
Then
do we need another trigger word? Oh, I have the horrific story.
Yeah, you have a horrific story.
I thought you had another horrific story.
No, I don't really like those stories. Sam has a lot of horrific stories.
Yeah.
The amount of horrific stories he has told me. I've had to like close my ears and sing La La in my head.
I know.
He's really good at describing things.
Yeah. No, it's not my life.
Not my life.
I'm not about that.
Yeah.
My nail polish.
That's it.
No. Okay. Well, you know what we've got more of?
What?
This story. This next story. Today I effed up by canceling my roommate's favorite TV show. This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia and Riley. What's your favorite TV show?
It's already canceled. Gravity Falls.
I love Gravity Falls.
Yeah, what's your favorite? You remind me a lot of Mabel.
What? Yeah, you told me that. I have a lot of TV shows. I don't know if I have a favorite
one right now.
Oh.
Wait, we already know. It's the one in Prime.
Oh, that's not my favorite. Hazbin Hotel. No, I don't know my favorite. We'll come back to that.
All right, tell us your favorite TV show.
Yeah, Doctor Who will never be canceled though. Okay, actually, I'm not even caught up on Doctor Who, so that can't be my favorite show. Okay, so Vegetable Tomato 764 says, this didn't happen today, but many, many years ago when I was in college, my roommate was obsessed with one particular TV show, which I was also a fan of, but he was very into it.
What do you think it was? Like The Office?
I think it was, no, I was going to say Supernatural, but that wasn't canceled.
Well,
it had to be like a show that was canceled.
He accidentally canceled it.
I know.
Okay, go on.
Okay. My roommate, he joined different forums and groups about it. He participated in chat rooms about it. He was obsessed. At the time, it was up in the air as to whether or not the show would be canceled. So being an immature 19-year-old, I decided to have a little fun. I recently found out about the service that would distribute anyone's article for free. Knowing that my roommate had alerts set up for everything to do with the show, I was fairly certain that if anyone was going to see what I was about to do, it would be him. I wrote up an article announcing the cancellation of the show. That's just mean. That's just mean.
But you gotta say, it's kind of funny.
I would be mean.
It's a little funny.
I don't know.
To see the reaction?
I don't know. I would be devastated if this happened. I started it off making it sound very official and professional, and then deliberately threw some bizarre statements into the article, things that would never appear in an official announcement. Okay, so it doesn't look real. I looked it over, sent it in, and promptly forgot about it. The next morning, I got up, jumped in the shower, and started getting ready for class. I heard my roommate shout, "Oh my God!" I walked back into the room and asked, "What's going on?" My roommate looked devastated. They canceled it. They actually canceled it. They're idiots. I asked him why they had done that. He proceeded proceeded to read the rest of the article out loud. As he reached the bizarre statements, he got a confused look on his face, held his hand towards the screen and said, "What the hell is this crap?" I burst out laughing and my roommate realized he'd been had. He shook his head. "You're an ass. Seriously, dude, how did you even get that out there?" We had a good laugh about it. He vowed to get me back and I went off to class.
Aw, so that was it. So fun. So innocent.
Everyone's happy.
And great. What a laugh.
Yeah. Later that day,
Wait, there's more?
There's more. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's not where it ends.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's more.
How could there be more?
How is a good question. I'll tell you how. Later that day, I walked into our dorm and my roommate had a huge grin on his face. "Congratulations, dude, you're famous," he said happily. "What did you do?" I asked. "Oh, I didn't do anything," he replied. "This is all you're doing." He sent me a link and told me to open it up. The link opened to a post on one of the fan forums of the show. The subject was the show's cancellation, and the post was a direct copy of my fake article. Below were people reacting with devastation and pure outrage at the network's decision to cancel the show. They had overlooked the bizarre statements and taken the fake article as an official cancellation of the show. I couldn't believe that it had spread so far. I read page after page of devastated fans mourning the demise of their favorite show, and then the mood shifted. The creator of the show posted on the forum after he was contacted by several fans. The post was along the lines of, "Well, I hope we're not canceled because I'm at the office and working. Now I'm fielding phone calls from my writers asking if they still have jobs." Oh shit,
oh
I
my
said.
Gosh.
My roommate burst out laughing. "Oh shit is right, dude. Keep reading." As I continued to read, the tide of angry comments turned from angry at the network to angry at whatever effing F-head decided to pull this stunt. Uh-oh. These people were out for my blood. They talked about tracking me down and beating the crap out of me. Oh my God.
That's horrible.
Oh my God.
Dedicated.
That was when I learned that my roommate was far from the most devoted fan. At least he found it funny. They wrote to both the network and the show creator, encouraging them to serve paperwork on the service I used to release the article in order to find out my IP, which would have traced to the college and likely resulted in disciplinary, if not legal action against me. I spent the next 2 months thinking I was going to get expelled or arrested. Meanwhile, my roommate just laughed at me every time I got anxious and told me it served me right. The following month, the fake article was referenced by TV Guide and is still mentioned on both the IMDb and Wikipedia pages for the show. As for me, well, I haven't spoken about this in many years and I'm still choosing to use a throwaway because my regular account has a bit too much of me on it.
Ooh.
And edit, I've written a few comments in response, but just found out they're being filtered due to this being a new account. Edit 2, just woke up to see that someone guessed correctly that it was Veronica Mars.
What?
Have you seen the show with Kristen Bell?
No.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. That's crazy. Okay, I'm glad that was the Veronica Mars canceled?
Wait.
I don't remember.
I don't even know.
Because there was a reboot, but I don't know.
Veronica Mars?
Was it canceled? It's like a detective show. She's like this girl detective. It's sick.
Oh wait, I know her.
Yeah.
What is she from?
She's in a bunch of stuff. She's in The Good Place.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Aw.
No, she's great. I love her.
Wow.
Wow. Almost got Veronica. But what was it canceled?
They got some in 2014.
What? What do you mean?
Like they rebooted it in 2014.
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't think it actually was canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to. He put like a link to his article, but I can't pick it up.
They got rid of it. Is that what it said?
I don't think they did. They stopped and then they rebooted it, but I don't think because of this post they canceled it.
It wasn't the post.
No.
All right. My comments may still need manual approval, so I don't know if they're showing up. But as I promised, I can confirm that it was Veronica Mars and Rob Thompson joined the Television Without Pity forums to confirm the show was not canceled. The forums are since defunct, so the link on the page is dead, but here is where it was.
Yikes. It was like funny. Canceled. It happened so long ago.
Yeah. That's very funny though.
Wow. Insane.
That's crazy that like a fake art, because I see those articles all the time. Like, oh, blah, blah, blah. This is going to have a new, and it's so obvious that they're not. Like you can do like a 2-second. What? Oh, you can do like a 2-second Google search to find out that it's not true.
The thing that I hate though is whenever like shows that are canceled, they're like, oh, we're going to bring them back. Like Gravity Falls 3. And it makes me so sad because then I like, no way. When are they going to?
Yeah.
Or like Sherlock Holmes 3 with,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No.
Oh, Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr.
They're supposed to do a third one?
Yeah.
Well,
that one also makes me sad. Well, they also
said they were going to do a third Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Never got that.
Never got that. Oh, he was a good one.
Yeah.
He was a good one.
Oh, boy. You know what else that's all the stories.
Wait.
That's not all the stories.
We're at an hour. Should we read another one?
Sure.
Okay.
Today I effed up by telling my roommate I loved his cooking.
Sophia, do you like my cooking?
I don't think I've ever eaten anything that you've cooked.
Never. I thought I had some peppers.
Nope. I didn't eat those.
We're about to find out then.
So, Electric Cookie says, so a few weeks ago, I woke up to a wonderful surprise. My roommate made me an omelet and brought it to me at my desk.
Aww.
That's really sweet. I was really happy that they went out of their way to cook for me. However, when I took a bite, I was in for a surprise. It was a cold omelet with horseradish Swiss cheese, sour raisins, and prunes. What? It was disturbingly gross. I couldn't even swallow one bite. I really couldn't eat it. Later in the day, my roommate came back to ask how it was. I was mostly distracted with work, so I just said that I was thankful he cooked for me. Because he doesn't cook a lot, I thought that I wouldn't have to address the abomination and we'd just go back to usual. Well, he took the positive encouragement and has started experimenting with all kinds of weird flavor combinations. This morning, I woke up to a garlic cheese and dried cranberries omelet, and it was even worse than the first.
That one doesn't sound as bad,
just
though.
The like dried cranberries, but it doesn't sound that bad. It depends on the cheese.
I feel like the prunes one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like I'm in too deep at this point. I don't have the heart to tell him that I don't even like omelets. I just like plain scrambled eggs. Edit. Holy cow, this blew up. Just sending love and good vibes to all. May all your food be tasty and all your roommates be as nice as mine. But may they be much, much, much better cooks.
Okay, real quick.
Yes, and there is an update.
How do you tell your roommate, I don't like your cooking?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you can.
You just like kind of, because I did make something for Christian once.
Yeah.
And I know it was not the best.
She was like,
because I ate it and I was like, this is horrible. But I just wanted to see what he would say. But he was very nice and didn't say anything about it.
See, my thing is I always set expectations, or I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like if I taste it, I'm like, this is not that good. I'm so sorry.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
It just hurts whenever you think you did a great job and you didn't. Like my brother.
Yeah.
I love my brother. Sometimes he'll cook for me and like he'll put a little bit too much seasoning on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, this is a lot of seasoning. But like, he's like, oh, this is great. But we've talked it through.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird conversation to have.
Yeah.
Because they did something nice for you.
Yeah. I guess for me, I always know when my cooking tastes bad. So I just fix it next time.
Like if someone else cooks it for you and you were like, not a fan.
Oh, and I wasn't a fan. I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like, thank you.
Okay, good to know.
Unless I was very close to the person and then I would be like, this is interesting.
But what would you say? What if I cooked you?
If you cooked me something and it was inedible, I'd be like, Riley, thank you so much for making me the meal. This is a really interesting meal.
What would I have to cook you that I also could eat? Oh, yeah. You would love my potatoes and sweet potatoes.
I do like sweet potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll have to make it and we'll find out.
All right, cool.
Update. For everyone offering advice, the plan is definitely to communicate that this combination is heinous, but in a nice and appropriate way. But in a nice and respectful way. I'm sure they would appreciate knowing what I actually like so that their effort is edible and a really nice thing. Final update. We spoke. Next day, he made me a plain egg and I made tacos for both of us. So wins for all.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's good.
Because the roommate probably just wants to do something nice for you.
Yeah. Well, clearly they made an egg the next day.
Just a single egg.
One egg. They cracked an egg.
Here you go, friend.
They said, here you go. Eat.
Eat egg.
Eat up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question for you, commenters. Sophia is pescatarian.
I'm Presbyterian. Is that what you said?
I said the right thing.
No.
What did I say?
You said Presbyterian.
What? No, I said pescatarian.
I don't think so.
I tried to say pescatarian.
Well, that's true.
I tried to say it.
Okay.
What are some things I should cook Sophia for her so she can see if I'm a good cook or not?
Yeah.
Put in the comments.
Put in the comments. Also, I was reading some of the comments from today's YouTube video and someone was like, is Riley the only one who doesn't realize that Sophia hates him? And I was like, Jesus, what did we do in that video?
Yeah, I know she hates me. I just have to like live with it.
It's not true, guys. I like Riley. We're friends. I don't hate him. And to that commenter, that was mean. That hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I can take the heat.
Yeah.
I know. I know the truth. It's okay.
It's not true, guys. It's not.
You should see her when the cameras are off.
Oh my God. This is what happened. Because I think we were joking around and they were like, oh my God.
No, Sophia's awesome. She's like a sister.
We're just too sarcastic.
I've never lived with a like girl like this.
I've never lived with a guy.
Yes, you have.
Sorry, I lived with my brother.
Yeah.
But I've never lived with other non-related guys.
Okay, true. But like living with like a sister is like, is interesting because I'm like, oh, wow. Like, for example, like, what is something? I just have to be more considerate about things that I do, like dishes wise.
Oh.
And like, yeah, that's just trying to think.
Yeah.
But like, like, I can't like, because usually I'll just like walk around like half naked, but now I can't.
You can't do that.
Because like, and I'm like, oh, I have to bring my clothes to the bathroom, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah, I see that.
But
That's
like,
true. I think that is something. Yeah, that was something slightly different for me as well.
Yeah. But I do like to sometimes. So I'm like, oh, is she here? And then sometimes I run the risk.
You just run.
I do. I'm like, you're here sprinting in the hallway.
Don't come out.
Don't come out.
Got it.
Yeah. But no, we're great. We like hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
And we're friends.
We're friends, I swear.
My roommate complained that I get ice loudly and I want to evict her.
Sounds like you guys have problems.
Yeah, he's like, you talk about loud ice? It's going to be real quiet when you're sleeping on the street.
And when you're not in my house, I'm going to pour ice everywhere.
What if this is just a story about like someone who just is obsessed with the ice bucket challenge and can't stop filling up giant buckets of ice all night? Well, let's find out who's closer. My roommate, 26 female, expects me to be completely silent after 10 p.m. On the second night, when I was still moving in, she imposed after 10 p.m. quiet hours, and I agreed with them. She told me that my noise late at night keeps her up, and she has trauma from being robbed as a child.
Damn.
That's an interesting twist.
She's like, I'm sorry. I was robbed as a child. I wasn't there. They broke in.
You must be quiet. I was robbed as a child.
They stole my mother's diamond ring and the wheel. I'm destitute now. I have to live in this apartment.
By the way, this comes from user Terrible Winter 1936 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. The first time that she ever brought up noise to me, I wasn't even home. She asked me if I had someone in my room right after telling me that she had heard that I left the house. Then she told me that she's hearing stuff in my room. She creeped me out after that, so I put a lock on my door.
Fair.
I expressed to her that sometimes if I come home late, she's going to hear me open the front door or walk past her room to get to mine, but that it is just part of having a roommate. Hey, sorry, when you have a roommate, they tend to exist. She makes noise too that I don't want to hear, but I understand that I don't live alone. I have a sound machine and a fan in my room to drown out the noise. She told me that I get ice loudly. You get ice loudly. As if there is a way to scoop ice in complete silence.
You could pick it up one by one.
You could pick it up. Yeah, that's going to be the next conversation. So she said she's going to show exactly how. So this is how I would prefer that you get ice. You take one ice cube at a time. You gently slide it into the glass sideways so as to not make any noise.
Don't tip it on the glass.
And repeat that process as many times as you need to get the right amount of ice. And there you have it. And then you have to sleep downstairs because you can't walk past my room.
Actually, just wait outside.
Just stay away. Just move out.
I think just move out, but keep paying rent.
Sleep in the house outside that I built for you.
Yes, I put it to your little doghouse.
Built it for you out of ice. Okay, back into it. Oh, God. I try not to fill up my water bottle late at night, but occasionally, if I come in late, I want to fill it up before going to bed. I maybe will fill up my water bottle once a week late at night, if even that. She also brought this up about the loud ice after I had been out of town for 2 weeks and had been back home for only 2 days. She had the whole place to herself for 2 whole weeks. She's always home, so I never get space from her. But again, I understand I have a roommate, so she can be home all day, every day if she wants.
She never leaves.
She used to go to work every day until around 3, but stopped. I work from home and have an office set up in my room. After work, I like to get out of the house, and sometimes that means I'll come in a little late. I also spend time every week with my boyfriend, so I'm not even home for several days at a time. We live in a 2-story townhouse, as she has her own room and a bathroom, and so do I. And then the kitchen/common area is shared. I'm just not sure how else to deal with her. She seems to have an issue with me existing outside of her schedule. On top of that, she makes a fuss every time I have a guest. I had my boyfriend over for one night back in March, and I haven't had anyone over again until this month because of her. She argued with both of us about him hypothetically being there for weeks, and that she signed up for a single female roommate after he stayed over for one night. This girl sounds like the most entitled person. She's like, I'm entitled to quiet ice at night, by the way. He was in my room for the majority of the time he was over. We didn't even use the common area. She told me that she left that Saturday to give us space and get drinks. Mind you, she left thinking that we were home, and we weren't. We left hours before her and came back about 10 minutes before she did. She asked to speak to me, and I let her know my boyfriend was going to stay one more night. My lease says I'm allowed to have guests for a couple of days or for a weekend. She asked me if he was homeless and was trying to say she pays more in rent than me, which is not true, to justify her absurd demand.
Wait, because he stayed over for like 2 nights?
Yeah, she's trying to be like, I actually pay more money than you, so I get to tell you your boyfriend's not allowed, and also time to get ice will not be allowed after 10 p.m. You have to get your ice before 10.
Room temperature only.
She also said that she wants to be able to walk around in underwear freely. Narcissist. She wants no roommate.
She doesn't want to live with anyone. That's the thing.
You're describing what it's like to live by yourself.
You just want to live by yourself. Go do that.
Yeah, go do it. Mind you, I've never even seen her walk around in just underwear around the house. I can't even list all of the rude things that she said to both of us. I could see her arguing with someone in her car before coming inside. I believe that she was drunk and upset and took it out on us. She made me cry and ended up apologizing to both of us for being rude and was saying that she was okay with him staying another night. We decided to just leave because she made us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I would leave too if I was being drunkenly berated by my roommate.
She's like, I don't want you in the house. You're always making noise and the ice is too much.
You need ice and you breathe and you walk around my space and I don't know. I pay more money than you. I deserve to be naked and your boyfriend is here too much. Weirdo. She's had guests over in the middle of the night before and told me last minute. So the whole conversation was just unfair. She told me that she was having guests over a couple times after the situation and no one ever showed up. She hasn't said anything about guests since. And at this point, I honestly think she feels a way about me having guests that actually show up. My boyfriend came over 2 weeks ago to go out for my birthday and was here for about an hour in my room. Then my dad came over last week to help me with some stuff in my room, and he was also here for about an hour. My roommate never even saw either of them. I just had my little sister over for the weekend, and my roommate only saw her one time when we were leaving the house. When she was home, we spent all the time in my room. I let her know that my sister would be here for the weekend, Friday night, and left Sunday morning, several days in advance. And she did not respond to my text. My sister and I came in late Saturday night, and then I was out and came in late Sunday night. But I, again, try my best to be quiet. If I use the microwave, I open it before it starts beeping. I try to use my phone flashlight to get to my room instead of turning on lights. I hold the doorknob while closing doors to avoid the click. I don't watch TV or play loud music at night. I talk on the phone outside if I know I'll be loud. I don't have guests over at all hours of the night. I go to my boyfriend's house on the weekend and sometimes several days in the week. This entire month, I've only been home like 2 or 3 days at a time. This is the first time I'm home for the weekend all month.
Sounds like OP's being kicked out of her own home.
Yeah, OP's going above and beyond to try to cater to her roommate's sort of absurd need to feel completely alone in the house.
Again, literally get your own place. If you cannot have roommates making any noise at all, then you can't have roommates. People make noise.
You gotta be okay with being around people if you're gonna live with people.
Also, as a person who, I am a very light sleeper, I wear earplugs. I wear them to bed because I know sometimes, especially if I know that there are people, if everyone's not home, I'm assuming they're going to make noise when they come back. And so I'm just going to put my earplugs in.
I think what you're forgetting is that she can't wear earplugs because she was robbed as a child.
Nope. Yep. You're right. I did forget that. You're so right. That was my privilege talking.
And what we want all of you to rob us every weekday at 3 p.m. on YouTube Live, just tap our profile. As a child, I was robbed of not being able to watch OK Storytime.
Yeah, but don't let your children grow up like that.
That's right. Don't rob your children. I'm not sure what else this girl wants me to do. She said something to my landlord, so now I have to speak with her about it later. I didn't want my landlord to have to deal with this nonsense, but now that she's involved, I'm letting her know everything. I have all of our text messages to show her, and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, and I'm tired of it. I'm just venting, but any advice would be great. Oh, and that is the end of that story. I assumed there would be an update there, but that is the end of that story.
That's crazy.
Honestly, my advice would be to just continue to do exactly what you're doing. You sound like you're kind of being a model roommate. Honestly, you guys both pay. You're both on the lease.
I think you can be there more.
You have a right to exist within this space that you pay for just because she also pays for it.
Hopefully your lease, when did they say the lease ends?
I don't think we have a date for that. But as of right now, yeah, the roommate brought it up with the landlord. So now OP's going to have to set this right with the landlord. Be like, look, I'm not up all the time making noise. This woman, she was robbed as a child.
I don't know if you can have a conversation with her, but Duchess Kasana says the woman wants you to leave, but still pay rent. That is a great point. You still pay rent. Don't let her push you out. Just say, hey, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be quiet as I can, but I live here and I pay rent.
Yeah, maybe you guys should just hang out more. She's like, you guys keep making noises. And it's like, maybe we should make noise together while doing things as friends. Since we live together, maybe we should be friends.
Maybe that's the solution. But that is the end of that story. Am I the a-hole for turning off the Wi-Fi while my roommate was streaming because he's been late on rent? What would you do if I turned off the Wi-Fi while you were streaming?
Honestly, that might be the only thing that will get the worm army to revolt against you.
Yeah, that's true.
Killing the live stream.
Sacrificing.
Unless it's part of the queen taking her kingdom, like, you will only stream when I decree.
Yeah, I say you can do nothing without me. I run this stream.
That's true.
Yeah.
We are
it becomes
mere
a
peasants.
dictatorship.
Yes. All hail the queen.
Chipotle Nullad 38 says, I've got this roommate. Let's call him Jake. Jake's a pretty big live streamer on Kick and Twitch.
Sounds like competition.
Sounds like a little bit of competition. No, we don't want that. Pulling in around 10K viewers each stream.
Whoa.
That's pretty good.
That's kind of good.
Hey, total or concurrent? Okay, buddy?
It does say each stream. Dude's making bank, no doubt about it. He always brags, and I know how much popular streamers make. We've been sharing this apartment for a bit, and things were cool until the rent issue popped up. Jake's been late on his share of the rent for the 3rd consecutive month. It's not that he can't pay, it's more like he won't, because he's too caught up in his streaming world and I guess being a bit lazy about his responsibilities. He's a cool guy overall, aside from this.
How is he so caught up? He's like, dude, my chat wasn't telling me to pay my rent. So freaking obviously, why would I do that?
No one in the Discord reminded me.
Come on.
I didn't explicitly say that the donations were for my rent, so I can't use that money for the rent.
My freaking mods are like, bro, you need to stop all this rent talk and get back to streaming.
Yeah, they're telling me to read more stories. I don't know what to tell you. They said
another hour, not more rent.
Exactly. Our lease is pretty strict about payments, duh, and it's putting me in a tough spot with the landlord. I've covered for him before, thinking it was a one-time thing, but it's become a pattern. We've had talks about it, and each time Jake assures me it won't happen again. Yet, here we are.
Here we are.
The last straw was this past month. He missed the rent deadline again, and there he was in the middle of another big stream. Something snapped in me, and I decided to take action. I went online, accessed our Wi-Fi router setting, and disabled the internet access for his devices. Midstream, everything on his end just froze. Chaos in his online world, I guess. I was watching and his chat was going crazy. It was hilarious. After I cut off the Wi-Fi, Jake was furious. Once he realized what happened, he stormed into my room, yelling about his stream crashing and how much money he lost because of it. He even threatened to kick me out, despite us both being on the lease, and said he'd make sure I regretted messing with his work. He's been giving me the cold shoulder since, and the vibe in our apartment is super tense.
Low key, I'm going to say OP's the a-hole. Because
talk to me.
He has not directly gone to him and said, hey, buddy, you need to pay, or like asked him or reminded him earlier. And this is a passive aggressive move. He's the a-hole.
I think he has gone to him before.
Yeah. What was mentioned on?
Let's see. The rent issue is not. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't
Sounds
He never
pretty vague.
specifically said
Yeah.
that he talked to him.
I kind of like assumed, and I would kind of almost have to assume generally that you would ask your like roommate to pay the rent.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's not explicit, maybe he hasn't directly.
Maybe he was
told
just
him.
like, "I'm paying the rent."
He's just like sending him signals like he's like,
Yeah.
hey, I made you a bowl of soup and it's like SpaghettiOs with like pay your rent spelled out. He's just like trying to drop all
I
these
can't
hints.
read.
It's like I gave you the SpaghettiOs.
He's in the chat and like it's like different bot accounts.
Yeah.
Like, pay your rent this month. Don't forget.
The best streamers take care of the rents.
10 best rent paid this year.
Starts a blog ranking all of the live streamers who pay the rent. And they're like, non-honorable mention, my roommate.
Exactly. That's what you had to do.
That's go the indirect route, ladies and gentlemen.
I still think, though, that he shouldn't have had to. Like, I understand that it might have been extreme for him to cut off the stream.
Yeah.
But the other person should have been paying that rent if it's been a couple times.
Yeah. I'm kind of split.
It depends on if he talked to him before.
Yeah, I'm a little split. Like you got one here, one side here. I need to figure out with this story.
That's fair. I know his streaming is his livelihood, but I feel like I had to make a point about responsibility and consequences. Now I'm sitting here wondering if I went too far. Cutting off someone's internet, especially when it's their job, feels extreme, but then consistently ignoring rent agreements feels disrespectful too. So am I the a-hole here for cutting off my roommate's Wi-Fi during one of his live streams because he's been late on rent again, despite making more than enough money to contribute? There are some relevant comments and an update.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me propose this.
Propose away.
Let's say that OP's roommate was not a streamer.
Yeah.
Was on a big presentation in a Zoom meeting with his bosses and like potential clients and like this big project that they've been working on. Or, not even a big project, but like, hey, they're on with their bosses. It's important work. This is their livelihood.
Like giving tutorials. All right, go ahead. Never mind.
like talking to your bosses on Zoom, right? And like, hey, I work remote. And then you go and shut off the internet. Would you not feel just in your gut more quickly to say, oh, you're the a-hole for cutting off your work with your bosses? I feel like with live streaming, like, oh, it's just a live stream. Like, but it is actually their livelihood. But they are being, and like even the way they're responding to like I don't even like the way that they're responding to the stream being shut off. Like they just kind of seem like a-hole in general, like the streamer person.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really split here.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
that's fair.
I think maybe both the a-hole.
Yeah, maybe a little both. Well,
the
it's obvious that the streamer is the a-hole for not paying rent.
100%.
But I think, maybe a little bit of the a-hole on the OP's side for the extreme reaction. If they hadn't consistently, or if they hadn't brought it up before in like a mature manner.
Like, cause I feel like you could be like every time, like maybe they get out from the stream, you're like chilling in the living room and you're like, hey, like, do you have the rent yet? And just saying like every day, like when he comes out from the stream, like, do you have the rent yet? Do you have the rent yet? Like, that's a pretty reasonable, just being direct and asking that like every once a day when you see them.
But however, what if they don't do anything? What if they still don't give the rent?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. When do you take extreme actions?
Like this. I think this is the perfect extreme action though.
It is kind of hilarious.
It's perfect.
It does make an impression.
The only other one would be him walking in on the live stream being like, hey, where's my rent?
Pay my rent. Krusty Krab is unfair. Please don't go there.
Holding up a sign in the background. Yeah. Union buster.
Yeah. And then like he's like, get out of my room. I was like, not until the rent is paid.
That would honestly hurt. That's the next time around. If this happens again next month and he turned off the Wi-Fi once, you just go in there and be like, hey bro, you pay rent.
Yeah.
I like the protesting in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
There are some relevant comments. Photo Beers and Teach says, who pays the Wi-Fi bill? OP says he pays the bill for the Wi-Fi, but I have the login. And he doesn't? Why do you have the login?
Maybe he's just like stupid and lazy.
Yeah. Desperate Pass 5701 says, nope, you can't have Wi-Fi if the bills aren't paid. Actions or lack thereof have consequences. There is an update.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a 1 month later update.
Get it.
Did we pay rent on this month? Are we 4 months deep?
Was this month the 1 month that he paid? Let's see. You might remember my last post. We do. My roommate is a successful streamer on Kick/Twitch and gets a lot of viewers and makes a lot of money, but is a dick about paying rent.
Ooh.
So I turned the Wi-Fi off during one of his streams because why should he get to stream for free in our house if he's not contributing? After the Wi-Fi cutoff incident, things between Jake and me were tense, to say the least. However, Jake did something unexpected. He bitched about me and our story with his viewers about the rent issues and the Wi-Fi being cut off, leaving out my identity for privacy at least. To my utter surprise, he initiated a fundraising event right then and there, asking his audience to help cover his share of the overdue rent.
Oh my God. That is...
Dude, this is where you go to the guy and be like, hey, I will continue to be a dick to you. I will continue to give you things to talk about. Help me with my rent.
I will become your boogeyman.
Yeah.
To rally the
rant
people.
on about me all you want.
Crazy. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's so wild.
Get in. It's great. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful idea. I think you should.
The response was overwhelming. Not only did his viewers donate enough to cover the overdue rent, but they also contributed enough to cover his share for the next few months.
See?
Jake begrudgingly presented me with his share of the rent the very next day. He acknowledged how his actions, or lack thereof, put us both in a difficult position and promised to be more responsible moving forward. So, am I still the a-hole for how I initially handled the situation, or did this unexpected turn of events shed a new light on the importance of communication and taking responsibility? There's one comment that says, from Specialist Passage, not the a-hole, your roommate is supposed to be an adult and hasn't been paying rent. You got his attention and you got paid. I like how they phrased that last bit of like, am I still the a-hole, or did this new development shed some lights, perhaps?
See?
No, maybe I'm the good guy.
Two a-holes don't make one butt cheek, okay? Yeah. You can't
That's true.
You can't just have two people doing something wrong and then it's like, hey, we all learned and grew from it, but
we all learned a valuable lesson about the power of friendship.
But
here.
You still made the a-hole move. So yeah. I think now at the end of the story,
at the end of the day,
you guys tell me what you think in the comments. Okay. I'm going to say still both the a-hole on the moves that they did, those initial moves, but they reconciled and that's great. Yeah. And it looks like all's well that ends well, but those were still both a-hole moves on both sides.
I think Streamer is a little bit more the a-hole though. Because he was a continuous a-hole. This was for OP, it was one clear act of a-holery.
Yeah.
Whereas for the streamer, it was a continuous acts of a-holery.
Who's more the a-hole? Riley, you got an argument to help convince me? Who's more the a-hole?
I want to say the streamer is more the a-hole.
Yeah.
Because OP was an a-hole, you know, do the a-holes ends meet, or what is it? The a-holery... The ends
meet the cheek.
Yeah, and in a way, OP's a-holery got the roommate more money and saved him and got him out of a hole.
Yeah.
The roommate is way more the a-hole than ever. OP slightly.
And I think like OP's like pulling the internet, I think that's something that's kind of like a heat of the moment. You can kind of have a lapse in judgment. Like, oh, like that was a lapse in judgment versus if you continually not pay or like are always late on the rent, that is like a long-term, you've sat with that decision and continued to not.
Even when he's financially stable enough to do so.
Yeah. And who walked away with more? OP walked away with, oh, I need to work on my communication skills more.
Yeah.
The other guy, oh, my room is being
4 months of rent.
And then he's like, he complained and thus he got the consequences of him complaining to his streamers or his buddies.
Yep.
Or his viewers. He got money out of it.
I figured out how to say it. The ends justify the a-holery.
The ends
that is
justify
what I was trying
the a-holery.
to say.
The ends.
or on the part of OP.
That's true.
Yeah. Streamer's a-hole.
I would say
Agreed.
Streamer's more the a-hole.
Agreed. Motion passed.
My roommate left the gas running for 2 days, but she refuses to take accountability.
Crazy. 2 days?
It was only 2 days. What, am I supposed to take accountability for that?
Jesus, I'm not perfect. I'm just human.
I, 30 female, have been living in this apartment for over 3 years. I initially moved in with my ex, and he moved out when we broke up. In desperation, I tried to find someone to help pay rent and happened upon my roommate, 26 female, who initially seemed to share the same ideals and goals for maintaining a place. By the way, this comes from user Ocults on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Here we are 3 months later. I'm moving out to a more expensive place alone because, quite frankly, she's gotten on my last nerve. I'm no stranger to mental health issues. In a transitional period of my life after a 6-year relationship, neurodiverse AF on top of a busy teaching schedule. However, based on information disclosed and observation of her behavior, she's got some sort of personality disorder. I try to be sympathetic to that, but when she twists my words, even though they're literally right there in the Discord chat, it makes me seem like a scammer and a lazy piece of crap, and tries to micromanage cleaning, like literally makes me do the heavy lifting as if I were the landlord on her schedule, making me put off plans, etc. Well, it just became really difficult. This is her first time away from home. So on top of treating me as a landlord rather than a co-tenant, she doesn't know how anything works, therefore misplaces blame that are clearly tenant responsibilities. She deemed me untrustworthy from the very beginning. I will take accountability for the shortened timeline, but I was as clear as I could be on communication. She's claiming that I lied about the apartment being move-in condition. I literally have photos. I left her room, bathroom, and living room as spotless as I could. I mentioned that because I had been living here with crippling depression for years, it would take me some time to sort out some clutter, which I'd been actively doing until her actions triggered it again. She was seemingly understanding of when she'd walked in the first time. I asked her for 2 weeks to get the place sorted, and I would prorate her rent. Instead, she signed the lease without viewing the place, which forfeits her right to inspection, because she wanted to move in the day after my ex moved out, and has been a tyrant ever since. I write this having now spent another day away from work due to the crippling anxiety of creeping around her. She's seemingly kind one day and then awful the next. But I guess I'm willing to pay more for my peace of mind in my own space. I'd spent the past 6 years taking care of someone else financially. Ironically, I brought someone into this space that I loved and fought so hard for, only to be disrespected, demeaned, and tore down. I'm heartbroken because the rent is super cheap and it's an awesome space for the price and literally everything I could ask for. Unfortunately, after contacting my manager, she reiterated to me that California state law protects co-tenants' rights. Anyway, on to bigger and better things. But here's a fun list of things that she's done because I need cathartic release. So, she tried to short me on rent by calling them rent reductions to cover her moving fees. Case 1. My ex moved out the day before she arrived. I hadn't been staying in the house to give him his space. I had to clean out the entire apartment in a night with a friend helping me. Yo, the ex didn't clean up the apartment at all? Terrible ex.
What are these people in the story?
She wanted to take whatever money was used for cleaning supplies, patching, repairs, etc. out of the deposit, and the deposit stays with the unit, so she had to pay moving in. Fine. My ex and I agreed to it. Suddenly, she determines that he doesn't deserve his deposit at all and starts itemizing BS bills that are responsibility and called it a rent reduction.
This is so funny. She's kind of acting like a landlord.
Yeah, she's the one being like,
I'm going to take your money. I'm not giving you back your deposit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not the landlord.
She's like, from my perspective, that's going to be a deduction. That's a deduction over there. And it's like, you didn't give me the contract, dude. Are you serious? All of this came out of my pocket because she threw a tantrum and called me a scammer and what have you. Case number 2, the fridge. She stops me right as I'm about to leave and mentions that we need to get a fridge. It then becomes my sole responsibility. We're on a tight budget. I reach out to the guy on Craigslist, I handle everything, and then she asks if I have a friend with a truck. Friend with a truck is not available, so she calls some dude that she knows. I'm assuming not a friend because she referred to him as a B word with a back injury, and then asks if there's anyone else I know that can help. I phone my current boyfriend who takes the time out of his day to help us despite having plans. She volunteers me to pay her friend, but doesn't mention anything about my boyfriend at this time. She didn't even acknowledge or thank him. I confronted her about it, and her reasoning was, your boyfriend is 47 years old with a job. He's a day laborer, basically, but go off, sis. Dude is not my boyfriend. He's a 30-year-old kid that lives with his parents, which I teach children, so is definitely not a child. I asked, so because he's my boyfriend, he's supposed to just do us a favor? Wait, what?
Okay, I think what just happened there was the girl was like, he's a 47-year-old without a job.
She was like, he's a 47-year-old with money. I don't know. This is reading like maybe...
He's a 47-year-old job, and so he has the money to do it? Is that what she's saying? I'm not quite sure what's happening in that.
She seemed pretty justified, and she tacked that onto her rent reduction.
Adding rent reduction that doesn't exist.
TLDR, she tried to short me on $300 of rent. When I told her I wanted to pay separately, she accused me of not having the money to pay in the first place and then proceeded to call me a scammer. You are the scammer. You are the one scamming with all these rent reductions. Oh, I guess this is another thing that she did.
Yeah, also, we forgot the title. Like, the title is she left the gas on. When is that happening?
Yeah, she left the gas on for 2 days. Like, that's coming soon for sure. She left the front door open for an entire weekend. Thankfully, my cat wasn't home, but my neighbor's cat broke in and pissed on my rug. The neighbor was kind enough to let me know and shut the door. In addition, my roommate has repeatedly left both doors unlocked. There's no respect for my property. She's broken 2 of my personal belongings. One is a ceramic cup that I made, and she burnt a hole in my couch. She trapped a spider under one of my mugs for 4 days, even after I confronted her about it. Prior to this, she chose to insult me by saying, who needs like 30 mugs?
What were you going to do with the spider? Were you just waiting for it to die?
It's unbelievable. I would just go into her room and be like, who needs extra pillows? Who needs, you have sheets and I would just take her personal belongings and be like, I thought you didn't need those.
But also, like, it's so funny because did she put a sign next to the cup that said, like, spider under here?
She put, like, a little Looney Tunes sign that's on there.
Like, don't lift, spider.
Do not lift, spider.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, listen, people know I love mugs. They buy them for me. I'm sorry. She expects me to do landlord things on her watch. She wanted me to move the stove. Chat, I am 5'3", 110 pounds soaking wet. I'm not moving no goddamn stove because she wants it clean. She expected me to drive back to work for a shop vac over the weekend. I bought a shop vac to shut her up. I wake up Saturday morning to her screaming bloody murder. I sprained my wrist cleaning your ex's bathroom. You mean your bathroom?
Girl, you can't blame them that you're bad at cleaning.
You live here. These are your responsibilities now.
How long her ex's bathroom? Just whenever you have to clean it?
Yeah. Is he paying rent now? Are you not paying the rent? Is that another rent reduction? This bathroom used to belong to someone else. Rent reduction.
Also, regardless of whose bathroom it was, you were cleaning it and you sprained your wrist doing that. Like, that was your fault.
Yeah, how do you sprain your wrist cleaning? Like,
what did you do? I don't understand.
She just doesn't know how to clean.
Really?
Anyway, she got mad at me about the shop vac and then blamed me for her sprained wrist when I asked what I could do to help her. She left the gas running for 2 days on the stove with a candle lit, and she was asleep. I nearly passed out when I walked in. She wants me to clean the kitchen, but I literally have not been home. She's been using it.
Question, how did you know that she left it on 2 days?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because did she tell you that? She was like, yeah, I was on for 2 days.
That doesn't sound right, because it sounds like with all those things, the house would have exploded.
Yeah, that doesn't add up to me.
This story is confusing me.
This story doesn't add up. Something's been suspicious about this story.
She took over the pantries and the fridge. She uses the kitchen all the time. Just clean up after yourself, dude. She wants to clean together all the time, and my schedule differs from hers. When I mentioned I'm literally on a teacher's schedule, our jobs never end after the bell rings. We are all constantly stressed. She clapped back with, well, I'm busy too. Bro, you work from home. Before you ask me if I talked to her about this, I tried. I told her how she made me feel in the space I invited her into. I talked about how important it was for me that she stopped disrespecting me in a space I fought so hard to keep, because she does this creepy, weird, hot and cold thing where 1 minute she's nice and the next minute she snaps at me. I talked a bit about the struggle that led me here. She proceeded to mock me with laughing emojis and tell me I needed help, which, fine, I've been looking for a new therapist forever. And she said that my emotional baggage isn't her problem, that she's a human being too. She told me that I needed to be more empathetic, which, yikes, dude. I'm hypersensitive, vigilant, and self-aware. So I think that maybe she missed the mark on that one. Yeah, she's the one that needs to work on the empathy.
I think she missed the mark on that one.
But what you guys will never miss the mark on is joining us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. Just tap our profile.
Just tap it.
And there is a little bit more here. Anyways, there's so much more. I guess this should also serve as a reminder to be a good roommate. I'm just happy I won't have to hide like a recluse in my room anymore, and that I'll be living where I want. So good luck, everyone. There's another side. Just get there. Wait, how did we get there? How did we just get there?
How did we get where?
How did we just get to, like, my roommate is, like, crazy and I don't know what to do. And then, anyway, she goes, anyway, there's so much more. I guess this should serve as a reminder to be a good roommate. I'm just happy I won't have to hide like a recluse in my room anymore, and that I'll be living where I want.
I don't know, man. I don't know what OP means, but it seems like she's doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess theoretically that ended with her being like...
Oh, Cowwater Scott says she said in the beginning she was moving. I assume that moving was into this, but I guess she was moving away from this situation.
Love that.
So the whole point of the story was she's leaving, and this is what she was leaving. My roommate's 21 female parents keep letting themselves into my 21 female apartment with the spare key my roommate gave them. Ugh. This is OKOP, home to the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia, and Riley, would you ever give your parents a spare key to your apartment?
Heck yeah. Who's going to water my plants?
So true. Okay, so Best Updater says May 5th, 2019.
Ooh.
Background. My parents are family friends with my roommate's parents. I was never really friends with my roommate in high school, but got to know her from living with her in a dorm. Recently, my parents got me an apartment and pay rent every month. So pretty much, roommates' parents don't pay. Over the past few months, when we come home from class, we have walked in on 1, her mom doing our laundry almost every week. 2, her mom cooking food and cleaning for us. 3, her mom cleaning my effing closet and calling me a slut for having tube tops and mini skirts. 4, her mom and dad chilling at the apartment Friday nights to make sure we don't party.
I'm cool with the top 3.
1 and 2, I was like, okay. And then it was like cleaning my closet. I was like, okay. And then calling me a slut. I was like, oh.
I'm okay with the top 3. If you're cooking for me, cleaning for me, and then you call me a slut here and there, I'm cool with that. You can call me that. I could see how it's different if my friend's mom calls me a slut rather than my mom calling you a slut.
Wait, what?
If your mom called me a slut, I'd be like, haha, that's funny.
Yeah.
But if my mom called you a slut, that's probably different.
It is different. I was like, okay, Riley. It does have a different connotation.
I'm like, oh, you're hilarious. Sam and Sophia's mom.
Yeah, no, I would not be okay with this or this situation. Uppy continues, I just can't deal anymore. I told my roommate to tell them to stop, but she said I'm overreacting. Am I overreacting? Should I tell my parents? Yes, you should. Yeah. If it's their place, I feel like you have a right to kick these other parents out.
Oh, yeah.
Opie says, I have lost my mind, literally. That's what they said. They said it's a key smash.
Oh, yeah.
Help. Edit 2, I'm going to tell my parents about it. I just didn't want to ruin their friendship as they were close friends for a long time.
Question, how are OP's parents going to take it?
I think they'll hopefully be on OP's side. I'm thinking they're going to be on OP's side because they pay for it.
Okay.
And they're going to be like, hey, you shouldn't be at our child's house all the time.
But they are close friends, so they probably have like the same values.
Yeah.
And same morals. So they're probably like, okay, so what?
So what? Deal with it. Yeah.
I would emphasize as OP, I'd be like, hey, she's harassing. Well, maybe not harassing, but like she's calling me names. She's bullying me.
Yeah. I think even if this is not what the parents do, I think anyone who's not on the lease has to be very self-aware of how much time they're spending at a department that's not theirs, you know, and it has to be
if they're not romantically involved.
I think even if they're romantically involved, I think you have to be self-aware about how much time you spend, and you have to make sure that everyone's on board with how much time you're spending there. You know, like if your other roommates are like, why is this person here every day? I don't want this person to be here. Then you have to like, you know, the boundaries have to be set.
But what if like they're cool and everyone likes them?
Okay, cool. My point is not like this is a hard and fast, your partner or someone can't be over all the time. It's more making sure your roommates are okay with it
if
and being
respectful.
No, not even even if they don't like them, I don't think it's a whether they like them or not. I think if someone's in your space 24/7, like literally maybe even living with you all the time, like that's not a person who's on the lease. So I think it's just a respect and boundaries and talking about, hey, are you comfortable with this person coming over? Making sure that your roommates know that they're there, you know? I think it's just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Bradley's like, okay.
Taking notes. What do they always have cookies?
Yeah, great. It's just about being respectful when you're in someone else's space.
100%.
Mini update. I took out edit 1 to shorten the post. I told my older brother about what happened, emailed my building manager, and was able to get a response from him saying I could put a lock on my bedroom door. That's also weird. The parents are like fully going into her room.
How do you feel about locks on bedroom doors? I'd like one.
Who's going into your room?
I don't know. You
just want one?
Yeah.
No one's going into your room.
I know, but
you just feel safer? I'm offended.
Okay, never mind.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but it says something. It says something about your trust.
True. All right, fine. I don't want to lock my bedroom door.
What if I want to like knock on your door and say, hey,
what's up?
What
if I'm like,
your door's like, it's got a padlock on it.
What if I'm like deep into like some work or something and I'm like,
that's what knocking's for.
You're right. Okay. All right. I'm cool with no lock on the bedroom door.
No, put a lock on your door. Whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. It sounded like it did. Anyways.
Me and my brother went to Home Depot and got a basic lock. Her mom is currently cooking in the kitchen. I'm watching my brother fix the lock. She doesn't look too happy. I'll update you all again when I tell my parents. And to clarify, the reason my roommate isn't paying rent is because her parents hit a tough spot financially last winter, and my dad wanted to ease the burden on them a little. He said he would help out by giving my roommate a place to stay so her parents could just worry about tuition and not room and board.
That's fair.
That's very nice of him, but if someone is like doing you a favor, you got to be respectful.
Yeah, no, that's cool for the dad to do that.
Update.
Ooh, there's an update.
Yes.
Okay, how do you think OP put the lock on the door?
Yes.
He's talked to the parents, talked to the building manager.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like she has talked to her roommate's parents directly.
Yes. I don't think she should have to. I think she should be able to talk to the roommate.
The roommate?
Who should, or the parents, because this is like, these are two adults who...
Do OP's parents need to talk to the roommate's parents?
Absolutely.
Okay.
OP's parents are the ones on the lease and like paying for this.
Gotcha. Right now, it doesn't seem like there's any beef between OP and her roommate.
No, it doesn't. Besides OP telling her, hey, this, my boundaries are being kind of pushed, and the roommate not listening.
Gotcha.
Update. I came back from my morning run around 7 a.m. this morning, and roommate's mom and roommate were in the kitchen making some coffee. She's never been there this early before. I decided to talk to them about everything prior to going to class. I started off with, hey auntie, can we talk? In brown culture, everyone is called an aunt. And these are some points I listed. Number 1, I appreciate that she's been cooking and cleaning, but I want to do that on my own. I love to cook and felt that I was never allowed in my own kitchen. I also told her that I want to do my own laundry and clean my room for myself. Number 2, I don't want her in my room. I reminded her that I talked to her about this when it first happened, and that's why I put the lock on the door. Number 3, I told her that if she wanted to be with roommate, to let roommate text me and let me know that roommate's mom would be in the apartment. They expressed understanding, and I hugged it out with roommate's mom. Okay, that's good.
Hey, that's
seems she did just need to talk to the roommate's parents.
Yeah. That's good.
That's good. This seems good.
Can we end here?
No.
Please, just let it be nice.
Let it be happy.
There's more, but...
There is more.
Please just let it be about how great a time you guys have had.
Yeah, they hugged it out and everyone went about their day. Bye. See you next week. No. Before going to class.
No.
I put a load of laundry in. My friend's having a birthday dinner today, and I decided to wear this cute white dress with an open back. Uh-oh. I'm scared, based off of the roommate's mom's previous comments.
Put I see you in the comments if you know where this is going.
My mom even got me this dress since she thought it was so cute and tossed it in the washer so it could be fresh for tonight. I asked roommate's mom multiple times if she was planning on doing laundry today, and she said no. I told her that I would be back around 1 and she could do laundry when I finish mine later this afternoon if needed. I didn't want her touching my clothes.
Communication was made.
Yes. She was okay with it and said roommate didn't have laundry today. Cool. I left feeling really relieved, but I still locked my bedroom door. I got back to my apartment about half hour ago and I couldn't find my white dress. As soon as I came home, roommate looked nervous. My clothes were in the dryer and I didn't do that. Roommate's mom stated that I put them in the dryer and just forgot. I locked myself in my room and I know she probably took the dress as it was something she wouldn't approve of. Yeah, that's what I was thinking that she would do. That is such a breach of space and
100%.
yeah, and boundaries. When I was in my room, I heard roommate's mom talking to roommate in our language. She told her daughter something along the lines of, I don't know why she's freaking out about that dress. In India, escorts and prostitutes wear those kinds of clothing. And she went on to tell roommate that I won't find a husband wearing stuff like this. Yikes.
That's not your place.
That's not your place.
That's not your kid.
This is also the apartment is not your place.
Yeah.
I honestly think she wanted me to hear all that. Is she seriously just being a passive aggressive B to me right now? I'm trying so hard not to break down and cry. I'm heading over to my parents right now and I'm telling them everything when they come back home tonight. I'll keep you posted.
Yikes.
And there's a second update.
Okay. So
yeah.
Roommate's mom still not respecting boundaries.
OP has communicated thoughts and feelings, thought they were being heard, specifically said, don't touch my laundry, and then
puts her hands all over it.
Yes.
And takes her white dress.
Literally takes the white dress and then lies about it. Yeah. This is...
That sucks that the talk happened.
Yeah. And it didn't do anything.
What can you do?
I think at this point, the parents need to get involved.
Yeah.
Because this is just, I wouldn't, as a parent, if I were paying for an apartment and, another parent was just even if it was a friend, I would be like, why are you spending all your time around my daughter?
Yeah.
Strange in my daughter's space. Yeah. May 8th, 2019.
Oh, there's another update?
Yeah. There is a second update.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry for updating you guys late and for the super long post, but I want to make sure I get important details in there. I think roommate's mom is crazy and needs a mental health checkup. Seriously, I'm very worried for her well-being.
Oh.
Oh no, this is a twist. This is a twist.
Okay.
My mom was home along with my brother's girlfriend, and her parents. I told them everything that happened, and no one liked what they heard. My mom called my dad to tell him what happened. When my dad came home, he hugged me immediately and started crying. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, me being called a prostitute and a slut was too much for him to handle.
Dang.
That's really hard. Hard to hear that your friend was calling your daughter this.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I've never seen dad cry before and it hurt me so bad. My mom called roommate's mom and roommate's dad and roommate to come over to talk. They came over immediately. They probably knew something was up from the tone of my mom's voice. She was close to growling. Mom was being petty though. When they came home, she didn't allow them inside. She made them stand on the doorstep the whole time, and I could tell this was pissing roommate's mom off. Some points of the confrontation. Number 1, why are you calling my daughter these names? Roommate's mom says, I didn't say anything. She's making up lies.
Whoa.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Oh.
Number 2, why are you even in the apartment that much? You told us that you go there once a month to check on a roommate. You also said she visits you every weekend. Roommate's mother, the kids don't know how to cook, so I help. Also, kids are busy studying, so they need it. We already know that's a lie because OP said that they love to cook. Number 3, why is a 50-year-old man in my daughter's apartment? No answer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I was wondering how much time roommate's dad is spending in this apartment because that is strange. Number 4, why are you going through my daughter's stuff? Why does she need a lock? Why are you limiting my daughter's time with her friends? No answer. And OP says, I shall also mention that roommate's dad was sitting in the car on the driveway during this whole conversation. But things got heated up really quickly. Roommate's mom started insulting my parents. These people are supposed to be friends. She said my mom is a bad mom because she never disciplined her children. She said I'm unruly and that the clothes I wear are despicable. She brought up clothes a ton, like this lady is really offended by my fashion sense. This annoyed my brother and he showed roommate's mother Instagram pictures of roommate wearing more revealing clothes than me and sitting on boys' laps. Oh my God. Poor roommate. She's getting dragged into this. Roommate's mom shut her mouth about my clothes immediately.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No room
Proofs
to talk.
into pudding. She then proceeded to try to insult my parents' professions by saying they have God complexes. What? This pissed my brother off to the brink. And he replied with, you own 3 subways and are almost broke, but we never say anything about it. Wow. This pushed roommate's mother off the edge and she leaned in close to my brother and attempted to slap him. This lady tried to slap my 24-year-old brother in front of my parents.
I love how the brother, we'll get to slapping, but the brother just came with like haymakers.
The brother was like, I've got receipts. Whoa. You're one to talk, you on 3 subways. Like, whoa, those are powerful punches.
No wonder she trying to like.
Yeah, Jesus. I'm glad that he's standing up for his sister, though.
Wow.
They argued more, and my mom asked where the dress was again. And this is also the dress I think the mom bought her.
Yeah, it is.
Which is even worse.
Yeah.
This time, she walked away to the car and pulled my dress out of her purse. She literally stole it. She stole it. She came back to where we were standing and literally threw the dress in my face.
Oof,
my mom had no more patience left and backslapped roommate's mom across her face. Oh my God. A lot of slapping going on. Wow. I've never seen my mom raise her hand on anyone, and I burst out laughing. Even my dad had to walk back inside to keep himself from laughing in front of roommate's mom. Roommate's mom started crying and said she was going to call the cops on us.
Dang.
They could call the cops on her. She tried to attack the roommate's brother.
Yeah.
I mean, Opie's brother. Wow. When they left, we had a big discussion. My parents were angry that I never told them about this before. They said that they got me the apartment so I could do what I wanted. They wanted me to be able to have friends over, have a place to chill, and have a place without parental influence. However, they are very proud and happy with the way I dealt with the situation. And said calling the cops would unnecessarily escalate the situation that could be solved by talking. Thank you for all the advice. I appreciate it a lot.
That means a lot hearing that from your parents when they're like, I'm proud of how you were being more mature
than these
parents.
Adults. Yeah. They were mad at my brother because they said he shouldn't have shown those pictures of roommate because now she has to deal with that trouble at home. That's what I was going to say. Because it's really it's not really her fault that her parents are overbearing.
Yeah.
Because, what was she supposed to say to get them out? I don't know if she could have said anything.
Yeah. But I could see where the brother's coming from. He's like, you can't be talking this crap about my sister.
Yeah. No,
Look at this.
I get why he did it. But
calling my parents bad parents? Look at what you've done.
Yeah.
That does suck for roommate. Because roommate just seems like she's being dragged along.
Yeah. Her parents are just there and she's like, I can't do anything about
Mom,
this.
please stop.
Yeah. My parents agreed that letting a roommate live in my apartment without consulting me first was wrong on their part. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they moved in together and then they just decided that they wouldn't have to pay rent.
Yeah, I think roommate their parents were like, well, they're friends. You can move in with her. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents started the eviction process today. Wow. Anyway, it may be hard to believe, but I do stand up for myself a lot. It's just that in this situation, I didn't want to do anything that would have offended my parents because I had respect for their friendship and I didn't want to ruin it or do something that would embarrass my parents. I learned from this and I have growing up to do, but now that I know I have support, I won't worry about petty stuff like this later.
I hope that roommate and her are good.
I hope that they're okay, but I don't know if they were necessarily big friends before. I think this might just be we were roommates, so we're kind of stuck together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but if they were friends, I hope that they're able to. Didn't even hear you. Yeah, we're kind of stuck together. I have to talk to you.
We have to work together.
Ugh.
The worst.
Opie continues, I also don't want to live alone, so one of my best friends from high school is going to be my new roommate. No, she isn't Indian. No one is living rent-free in this situation. I would also like to say that even though I wasn't friends with roommate in high school, living with her for 2 years did help me make a bond with her. I don't know if we can be friends after this, but it feels bad losing a friend. And then Opie continues, also my parents are liberal Indians. They have lived here in America for over 40 years. They didn't want to spy on me at all. They don't mind me wearing skirts or tube tops or having guy friends over. And edit 1, I forgot to add, for those of you guys who think that my parents paying my rent and tuition doesn't make me an adult, I don't think it does. I'm so blessed to have parents who want to make sure that their kids graduate without debt. Also, it's my parents' money. They'll do what they want. This gives me no excuse to have a GPA less than a 4.0. Jesus.
Yeah, no.
That's not uncommon. Of course, it is very lucky if you have it, but
yeah. No, yeah. That sounds like a good
also,
deal.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying someone still in college is necessarily adult. I
did not consider my adult until last year.
Yeah, I don't know if I would still consider myself adult. I'm working on that. Yeah.
Wait, have you ever been called ma'am before?
No.
Okay, people call me sir, and I do not know how to handle that responsibility.
People still think that I'm a child sometimes, so. Yeah. People are like, oh, did you just graduate high school? So I've not been ma'amed yet.
Oh man. Some people ask me, oh, do you still go to school? And I'm like, no, I work on a podcast in Santa Monica. I don't go to school.
I do adult things.
I have a job.
Edit 2. I took out the part where roommate's mother tried to threaten me with a wooden spoon to shorten the post. It was funny though.
Oh shoot.
I think that's like, yeah, I've heard about this before where people like it's the wooden spoon. Edit 3.
Don't get any ideas.
Just slap you with a wooden spoon.
I thought you were gonna slap me with a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to have a wooden spoon in their hand?
Me. I wouldn't.
I don't believe that. Clean up the dishes.
Whack. I won't abuse Riley. Don't worry, guys. The cops are yet to show up. Ooh, for the eviction? That's an edit 3. And edit 4. Guys, we forgot to ask for the key back. Effing damn it. Never mind. Roommate's dad dropped them off at my parents this morning. False alarm.
Ooh. Oh, that would have been.
Oh, boy. Yeah. We avoided catastrophe.
Dang.
Well, that's that story.
Man, that was heated.
I feel bad because these are like the parents' friends, but yeah, they should not be talking to someone else's child like that.
And it is interesting because I think they have, since they're Indian.
Yeah, there's cultural differences.
There's cultural differences.
Yeah, it's, a lot more community based, but no, that's still not okay.
I could see this happening back home in the South because we are
also community based.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I know there are some like different like communities and cultures that it is more common for other like friends to parent as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stuff is not okay. Especially just like practically living in two young women's apartment.
They're trying to be adults, trying to be young women.
Yeah, but also just having like
America.
an adult man in a young woman's apartment is...
That's not fun.
No.
My girlfriend caught me in my roommate's bed. Am I the a-hole?
I don't think you should have been there.
So my girlfriend Celine, 20 female, and I, 21 male, have been dating for about 7 months now. But I had feelings for her for like 3 years beforehand.
Wow.
That is awkward. How does it feel to have feelings for me while living together?
I try to hide it, but day to day, it's a day by day thing.
Yeah, I feel especially when he grabs my
Yeah, I try to show like, hey, I really want this, but also like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, it's a fine line. I have also been sharing a flat with 2 other girls and 1 guy. One of the girls is Kaya, and we're pretty good friends.
I did not see, did you see this? Platonic? Did not see platonic there.
Yeah,
let's check it. Yeah, there's no platonic. Pretty good friends.
Well, you don't have to say platonic friends. It's implied that it's
it
platonic.
would help.
Platonic friends is platonic. Anyway, well, I guess maybe Celine was a friend initially. I mean, they had feelings for 3 years beforehand. Anyway, as it so happens, Celine's ex cheated on her with Kaya. Kaya hadn't known they were together at the time. So when I first brought Celine over to my place earlier into our relationship, she told me about what had happened. So the girl that stole your last boyfriend is living with your current boyfriend.
This is messy. Oh my gosh.
I realized then that it would be messy. And I asked Celine if this was a deal breaker for her, but she said she wasn't sure as she was aware that Kaya didn't realize she was facilitating cheating. The next day, Celine said she thought it over and had no resentment towards Kaya, but was insecure about herself and felt uneasy that we lived in the same house. I understand. We agreed to continue with the relationship and set our boundaries. One of them was that Kaya and I won't sleep over in each other's rooms anymore.
Anymore?
We used to have movie nights on Fridays. We have movie nights.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd fall asleep in her room during movie nights. Everything was platonic. There you go, Riley. And I told Celine about this.
But we have movie nights where we don't sleep over in each other's rooms.
Well, that's because
there's only one spot on the couch. Have you slept on the couch with someone?
Yeah.
I haven't.
All the time. Christian and I fall asleep on the couch all the time.
Yeah, but you go back to your rooms. You don't stay there all night.
Yeah, but it's just when I wake up. I don't know. I mean, I feel like maybe if there were TVs in everyone's room, we would go there. It was the only places for TVs. We had the living room where we watch stuff.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, let's move to the present time where our relationship is like a fairy tale. Being with Celine is pretty awesome, but my exams are coming up soon, and because I'm horribly underprepared, I needed to lock in. So I told Celine I would have to be a bit selfish and wouldn't be able to spend time with her or have much communication till they're done. So for the past 3 weeks, my life has been wake up, spend the entire day / night at the library, then come home to sleep for like 5 to 6 hours, then go study again.
3 weeks.
That is rough. It's a horrible routine, and I feel like a zombie. But I have too much content to catch up on and not enough time. I must also admit that I've not been in contact with Celine all that often. We only talked twice on FaceTime and texted very little. She tried initiating, but I had my phone shut off while studying and only replied when I left the library. Man's focused.
Oh my God. I get that.
He's focused.
But 3 weeks? At least take like an afternoon.
I mean,
like spend time with your girlfriend.
Yeah, ideally. But man needs to lock it. I understand. Like during like engineering stuff, I was pretty locked in.
For 3 weeks?
For finals, maybe, yeah. Maybe not as locked in, but
oh my god,
he's trying to lock in, you know?
This is crazy. Okay.
On her second call, she said she felt neglected, understandable, and it was really starting to get to her and she wanted to spend some time together. I apologized, told her I missed her too, and that she'd come over to spend the night. But she came about an hour later than she was supposed to, and I fell asleep by then. She still stayed the night, but the next morning I felt that she was upset. I fell asleep. Then I got really sick 3 days ago because OP burning the candle at both ends. I threw up at the library and asked Kaya to come pick me up. My other roommates are out of town, and Celine would have taken too long to get there. When I got into bed, I threw up all over my sheets. At this point, my memory of what happens is foggy. I was very drowsy, not thinking straight. But I see you in the comments to see what's going on. Rather than cleaning up and setting new sheets, I texted Celine I was very sick and had vomited over my bed and asked if I could sleep over at hers. I got no reply. So I went downstairs and I slept on the couch. When I woke up the next morning, I was asleep on Kaya's bed, shirtless. I had no clue how I got there.
What?
But Celine came to check up on me and walked in on me like this.
No.
She yelled, "How could you?" And before I had a chance to say anything, she left.
Oh my gosh.
There is more to this story really quick, but
Celine's got to start playing some defense, dude. Kyle's like 2-0 on you. You gotta start playing some defense.
I don't think OP first of all, I don't think OP cheated.
Doesn't sound like it.
And second, like he has no memory, so.
Can you be that sick where you have no idea what's happening?
I mean, I've been pretty delirious while sick.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think anything happened. I think what happened is like Kaya just like, hey, you can use my bed.
Still.
But
like, can you blame Celine for feeling this way?
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Definitely not a good look. And I can imagine being like so hurt and just not even wanting to hear an excuse.
Yeah, because like it does not help that the past 3 weeks, no contact, feeling neglected, walking in. Yeah, no, dude.
Yeah, like it kind of like it would add up, you know?
This is not.
It would add up.
Oh.
Kaya told me that when she saw me asleep on the couch, she offered to let me sleep on her bed instead. I have no recollection of this. I probably took my shirt off because I felt hot at some point during the night. She also said she slept on the couch and we didn't share the bed. I've been trying to reach out to Celine, but she blocked my number, WhatsApp, Insta. We have 2 mutual friends, but they both haven't replied to any of my texts. My fever died down yesterday, so I went to Celine's to clarify the situation. But her roommate said she wasn't going to talk and made me leave. The whole situation just feels so horrible. What do you even do at this point? The whole situation just feels so horrible. I love the relationship that I have/had with Celine, and the fact that it's probably over makes me feel so distraught. I also reflected over how I've been recently, and I realized that a lot of the blame goes on me. My exams aren't a reason to completely shut myself out of a relationship, and I need to work on being able to juggle life and studies at the same time. Other than her finding me asleep on Kaya's bed, she probably had a lot of animosity and upset amalgamating over the last 3 weeks of me not being in contact. It's painful knowing I made a very unnecessary decision, and had I put in more effort, it wouldn't have cost me a great person out of my life.
The thing that sucks is he has no proof to show this at all.
Well, he texted her that he was sick.
Yeah.
And he texted her like, hey, can I go over to your place because I feel sick? So like there's like I feel like there's a little bit there that he could maybe work with and be like, hey, like how would I wanted to go to your place because I was sick and I threw up. I told you I threw up on the sheets, you know?
Yeah, I just think it's a sucky situation all the way around.
And I think that goes to show, like, even when you're locked in on something, still, if you're with someone, you should still give. You need to check in. You need to water the relationship.
You need to prioritize it somewhat.
Yeah. If it means something to you, if it's important to you, you got to show that it's important to you, as important as your studies.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not necessarily about time spent. It's about quality time. So it's like even like 15, 30 minutes, an hour of just time spent with a significant other, I think, and if it's really quality, intentional time, I think can mean a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to mean like a whole big date or something.
He just FaceTimed twice and little texting in between within the span of 3 weeks.
I think it was more than that.
That's what he said, though. He said only twice and a few texts over 3 weeks. I don't and plus, I don't know what he's studying.
Wait, yeah. We only talked twice on FaceTime and texted very little over 3 weeks. That's actually crazy.
Like, what are you doing on Saturday nights and Friday nights?
Studying.
Just studying?
I mean, dude.
I do remember school being really rough.
But, bro, like, I don't know what course, but in engineering, you're studying 24/7. One class took me, it was like 50 hours a week. Just one class.
What the heck?
My computer science class. Like UCLA engineering is so hard.
Oh my.
It was tough, especially if you're not like a genius. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I was struggling.
You're very smart.
Not engineering.
Not engineering. Oh, in your
like I could do it. But it took me a while.
There's a lot of like TikTok videos about communication majors, and they're like, I have to go submit a conversation at midnight.
Hello. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what would you tell OP to do?
Oh, dude. I don't think he can do. He did what I would have told him to do, like go to her place, try to contact her.
I would have left a letter.
Flowers.
Sorry for looking like I'm cheating. That's just so unfortunate.
It does not help Kaya and Celine's past.
Oh no.
That was going to catch up to him at some point.
Yeah. I mean, like, she can say she's fine with it, but the person that stole her last boyfriend being there again, yeah, no way. No way.
Red flags.
Red flag for sure. But you know what's a green flag?
Wait, one more second. Doesn't he have Instagram? How could she not know that Celine's ex was in a relationship?
The ex hooked up with Kaya.
Just once?
Like she cheated on Kaya.
It was just once.
Or he cheated on Kaya. I don't know how many times, but he cheated on Kaya. Or he cheated with Celine on Kaya. And so Kaya probably wouldn't have shown up in any of their...
You think Kaya would have done some research of like the ex-BF's like Insta and like found the girlfriend or anything?
I mean, if you meet at like a bar or something and you're just like hanging out, it could have been... you're not necessarily doing research.
I thought they saw each other.
Or if you're just exchanging numbers and you don't have like a last name or something.
Okay, yeah. All right, there's nothing he can do. I was seeing if there was a workaround. Yeah, no.
Yeah, pretty rough, dude. But is not a red flag and a complete green flag.
What's that, Sam?
Subscribing.
What are you doing?
If you haven't subscribed, freaking subscribe already.
Today's the day.
Today's the day. Let's do it. And today is also the day for this next story. Am I the a-hole for not cooking for my husband's friend?
He doesn't need to eat.
So I, 24 female, got off work a bit ago. My husband, 24 male, had some friends over playing card games for the evening, and I knew that before I got home.
24 mil.
What?
Like, I feel like the key word of this is 24 mil.
What's the key word? What do you mean?
That his age. Like, put a pin in the age.
Like, it's going to be important later?
Husband and wife, 24, young, very young.
Yes, they're young. Yes, they are young. Yeah. That is true.
I feel like that's a key point.
That's like you, baby.
Yeah, I know. Like, imagine me being married right now. Crazy.
I came home and saw they had ordered pizza, and I don't overly like that pizza brand. Domino's is nasty, in my opinion. So I said hi to everyone and started making a frozen ramen. Now, my frozen ramen are from a local place and are delicious and not very cheap, but they are my favorite lazy meal. So I was standing at the stove making my ramen, and one of my husband's friend, Brian, fake name, started saying, "Smelled so good." I replied that yes, it is delicious and he should try them sometime, but they are pricey, about 16 Canadian each.
Ooh.
As it kept cooking, he just kept saying things like, man, that smells so good. And I'd kill for some ramen right now and such. I just eventually told him that they run a special of buy 10, get 1 free. As I said, they are fancy ramen and very filling. He then said, oh, so you have more? Could you cook me one?
Come on.
Honestly, I was put off by that. I had just worked for 8 hours and I told him they aren't cheap. I said, no, they're kind of my thing. I really recommend trying them out though, which, great deflection.
Yeah. And plus he has pizza.
Yeah, you have pizza. He clearly got a bit angry and stopped their game at this point. He said, well, it's kind of unfair. You're making one for yourself, then not making one for a guest. You should just have pizza. What
he said that?
He said that.
In her home?
To the hosts. Like, yeah, in her home.
Oh my gosh.
To be fair, I don't know if you need to be fair. At this point, my husband and the other guy stepped in and told Brian to chill out. My husband also told Brian that it was my food and I don't like pizza. It was pretty awkward, and once my ramen was heated, I took it to my desk in the other room and started typing this out. I was admittedly eavesdropping, and I heard Brian leave shortly after I came to my desk.
Honestly, green flag on the husband.
Green flag on the husband for calling Brian out, yeah. But also red flag for having a friend like Brian in the first place. I'm really wondering if I should have just made him ramen because I feel the atmosphere of my husband's group might have been ruined because of me. So am I the a-hole for not cooking for my husband's friend? And there are updates, relevant comments, but is OP the a-hole, Riley? What do you think?
No. You got off work at 8 hours. This guy's at your house. You didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
And cooking food for yourself.
All right, first of all, if like how the whole thing works is a host offers if they want to. Yeah. But she isn't hosting these people. The husband is. And he got pizza for them. It is not her responsibility to feed anyone.
No, not at all.
And also, if you're a guest, you don't demand to be fed. That's whack.
That smells so good. And it's ramen. If it was, I'm trying to think of some shareable food, but I don't think there is any shareable food that would be justified. You have pizza, dude.
Yeah, Brian's stinky man. But what do you think? Is Brian the a-hole? Is OP the a-hole? Put your answers in the comments below. Would love to know. But there are some updates and some relevant comments.
I will add, I wish OP used a different name because every Brian I know would not do this.
Yeah, the Brians in our lives are good people.
I'd say it. Tyler's. I could see a Tyler doing this.
And I have seen it. Tyler's, watch out. Small update. The rest of the friends left and husband came to talk to me. He apologized for Brian's behavior and explained, husband, and explained that after I left, husband asked Brian what his problem was. Brian said, whatever, let's just get back to the game. They all sat in discomfort for about 5 minutes. Then Brian just got up and left. The rest of the gang finished the game, then they went home. According to husband, the group agreed that Brian was acting weird and rude. One of the guys volunteered to check on him tomorrow and tell him to apologize to us. So update on that tomorrow, I guess. So I guess we're going to get some tea on Brian. Why is he feeling like this? Is he dealing with a divorce? Is he, maybe caught up in some fraud? Maybe he owes a gang member money. It could be a million things.
And ramen just was the last straw.
Ramen was the only thing that would make him feel better. But there is an update, but first we'll get to the relevant comments. Death to all ants says, not the a-hole. Brian should have written down the name of the store/brand and flavor on a memo so he could buy it later. This might be pushing it, but at most he could have asked for 1 bite on a small plate so he could at least taste test it before committing to buying 10 portions of an expensive ramen. I've never heard of frozen ramen. What the F? And OP responds, the store is a ramen restaurant and they simply sell their fancy homemade ramen as frozen for a few bucks cheaper. It is just noodles, meat, spicy chicken in my case, broth, and some veggies. Honestly, I can make it home, but I'm lazy. But I'm really relieved to see people saying I'm not the a-hole. I was getting really into my own head as I was sitting here, so that's for the judgment. Now, the update. And this is recently.
Also, the friend group is green flags.
Yeah, W friend group too, besides Brian. Hi, all. I was very overwhelmed with responses to the post. I was honestly just working myself up last night and needed to vent somewhere. I didn't really expect such a response. Thank you all for judgments. It was helpful. Anyways, to the update. Sorry, it took the whole day. A lot happened. The other friend that went to check on Brian, Sam, let's go, W friend, again, fake name, tried calling him in the morning and didn't get a reply. Eventually, Sam went to Brian's place and asked to talk. Sam said it basically went down as him saying, "You were being weird as heck with me." What was that? "I just didn't want Domino's, and you guys didn't listen to me. I wanted other food." Sam and my husband also say that when the group was discussing food and one of them said, "Just get Domino's," Brian didn't say an objection. Sam then told them along the lines of, "Okay, well, you need to apologize to husband and I." Brian then said, "Yeah, I'll apologize to husband."
Yes, to husband.
Most of you readers will pick up what Sam picked up on. Brian didn't want to apologize to me. Sam told him he mostly needed to apologize to me. It was me he spoke to and he was rude to. Brian told him he'll think about it and asked Sam to leave. Sam then came over and told us the conversation and started writing the update for you guys. As I started writing, Brian called husband. He was talking very rushed and I could hear him almost a room away. "Yeah, I'm sorry for last night. I don't think I want to attend game nights at your house though. I don't get along with OP, me." Husband started getting kind of heated at that point because Brian was talking very rapidly, like in a panic almost. The argument kind of dissolved into a lot of what the comments brought up. My husband asking him what his problem was. Is he just that misogynistic? Why was he acting this way and such? Husband said that Brian didn't really make sense during the talk, making weird comments about other significant others of the guys. Some of them are gay or poly, talking about the guys not sharing their time. And they, I assume he was talking about me and the other partners, always ruin the energy and I can never enjoy the time with everyone. Husband was a bit too angry to ask more and just told him to get himself sorted out and not to come over again. So Brian's getting kicked out. The other guys are more concerned and think Brian is having a manic episode, which sounds more true. I mean, he can still be a dick when he's manic, but it sounds like, I mean, manic episode is the opposite of depressive episode, basically. It's like when someone is super excitable and over the top, and like usually there's visions of like grandiosity and stuff. Look up manic episode. You can define it. I'm probably not getting the exact definition.
No. I didn't know it was that. I thought they were just going insane.
No, it's a specific type of thing. Yeah, it's a symptom of bipolar disorder. Feeling extremely high-spirited, irritable, or upbeat. And also exhibited by talking faster.
Interesting. And you could say it was a little bipolar the way he reacted to that at the game night. You could argue.
We could see. The other guys were more concerned and think Brian is having a manic episode or is getting into Andrew Tate's. It's one or the other. As Brian is the last single one of the group. My husband kind of doesn't care, though, and told them not to involve him in Brian's issues. For me, I kind of don't know what to make of it. I feel bad for my husband because he's very stressed after it all. This isn't the only friend group that he has, but he has known these guys for many years. I think most commenters clocked it correctly. He is misogynistic and was just angry at my existence. Yeah, sounds like it. I doubt there will be another update. Husband wants to step away from the whole situation, so thank you all again. And we got two more little updates. So as of now, there's an update. I also kind of hope there won't be. The friend group tried to get husband involved in whatever intervention they planned for Brian, but he said he didn't want to be involved. They respected that and haven't told him further updates. They still play video games together, but husband is mostly hanging out with other friends now. And finally, about the frozen ramen, spicy broth, handmade noodles, bean sprouts, green onions, and mushrooms. Then just a protein. I pretty much always get chicken, but they do salmon and pork. I was surprised going through the comments a few days later, seeing so many people wanting the ramen. And that is where that story ends. So another misogynist, I guess, hopefully gets his crap worked out.
Another misogynist
caught in 4K on OKOP.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've seen that like with other gaming groups where they'll have it at significant others' houses and there will be like one guy that's single and just feels threatened by the presence of a significant other because they don't have that in their life and they feel that maybe they're competing for attention with the friend group, with like between them, like their friend group and their significant others, their friends' significant others rather.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Oh, you could? Let's look up, Riley.
Well, I mean, not that point of view, but I could see that in friend groups because if they're spending all their free time just playing video games and not being social, because When they play video games with
well,
other
you
guys.
can be social, and they're playing card games, so you can be social during that. But like,
yeah, I've just read a lot of stories on here about guys that like play a lot of video games and like the people they become into.
I don't know if it's a product of video games. I think it's more of a product of like being the only single guy in a group full of people with girlfriends. I don't know. But also, there are probably a lot of gamers that are incel too, and Andrew Tate.
Yeah, whack though.
Whack! But you know it's whack? Subscribing. Freaking subscribe. That's not whack. Go subscribe.
My roommate refuses to take care of her dog, but I told her not to get one in the first place.
There's nothing worse than someone who won't take care of their pet.
Yeah, I hate it.
Worst.
I let a casual acquaintance move into my home a few months back. I own my home, and it's gone from okay to annoying pretty quick. By the way, this comes from Handmaiden of the Stars on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, about 3 months ago, she adopted a dog from the local shelter. I told her it would be fine, but that we need to do a meet and greet, then foster the dogs before she could officially adopt, as I have 2 dogs already. Both my dogs are 4 years old and female. They are not usually aggressive, but one of them is reactive and resource guards, usually guarding me, which I hate. I've worked with a trainer on this behavior and have strategies that I implement with her. I also know her cues and how to respond when she's guarding. I went with my roommate/tenant to look at dogs twice. I was irritated to start, which should have been a sign for me to pull the plug on this dog. I didn't know why I had to go with her, as each shelter visit took like 3 hours. Definitely my fault, and shows my issues with boundaries, which I'm working on in therapy. When she found a dog she liked, it was like 180-degree difference from what she told me she was planning to adopt. She said she'd adopt an older, calm dog that slept all day. She was explicit about what she wanted in a dog. Instead, she found a young 2-year-old male dog that is highly energetic and had a history of behavioral issues.
Oh boy, that's a real fun 180 to do as a dog owner.
We did the meet and greet. By the way, she was 20 minutes late showing up for the appointment, and my dogs were okay with him. The behavioralist at the shelter was reassuring and said the dogs would coexist fine. I should have said no, which is again my fault. I was immediately nervous about the dog, but my dog's body language was fine and there weren't any immediate red flags. The shelter didn't give us any tips for introducing them, which annoyed me, but it's not my dog, so I assume my roommate looked into all that. She did not. I could have taken some responsibility here, but I didn't want to set a precedent that I would be responsible for all of this. Maybe another mistake I made. The dog comes to my home and it's chaos right away. My roommate does nothing to set us up for meeting the new dog. Then she tells me she's adopted the dog, even though she said it would be a foster. We agreed that we would have a month to decide if it would work with my girls. She straight up lied about fostering, and I'm still angry about it. I didn't even know she was going, WTF. The day before her vacation, she has a trainer come to my house and talk to us about the behavioral problems. There wasn't much I was asked to do, but what she asked me to do, I did. I don't let them on the couch together. I keep them out of my room. I don't let them be in the kitchen when I'm eating. I've messed up here. I'm not perfect, but I've really been trying to follow rules. And also, OP's like not the owner of this dog. They shouldn't have to do this. My roommate has done almost none of them. The behavioralist said to get him a crate and to work on the calm protocol with him. She did none of that. Plus, she has a free second session with the behavioralist, and she never scheduled it, even though I asked her a bunch of times. When she was out of town, less than a month after adopting him, the dog ran off at the dog park. I was pretty messed up by this. I shouldn't have taken him to the dog park, and I should have just left him at home. But it had been 10 days, and he hadn't had much stimulation or any walks, so I felt bad. It feels like this incident was my fault. I had one of the worst panic attacks, not an anxiety attack, a real panic attack, where I thought I was going to die for the first time in a decade the day he ran away. Again, she didn't really seem to care that he ran off. OP's way more invested in this dog than the dog's actual owner.
He'll be fine. Look at all that energy he's got. He'll be fine. Don't even worry about it.
But she was grateful I managed to find him when I told her about it later on. It was so effing awful, and it kind of made me hate her. I ask her constantly to pick up his poop. She did that once in 4 months. He's a boy dog, so he poops giant poops. I have a small gardening business, and he pees on my product. I told her the dog has to be trained not to pee on my garden, but she does nothing. She just sits and vapes when the dog's in the yard. She doesn't interact with him. She just lets him do whatever. I told her any plants he kills will be charged to her rent, but she still does nothing. She says she can't afford to do any training with him, hire a trainer, buy the dog any kind of behavioral tools. If you cannot afford to take care of your dog, then you can't afford a dog.
This person is negligent.
You suck. I hate this owner.
The fact that she said, I don't have money to buy behavioral tools for my dog. Do you realize that you can train a dog with a little piece of rope?
You literally can do it yourself. Figure it out.
It's like $2 and watching YouTube videos. You the laziest. You're the couch that the couch sits on. You're so lazy.
Yeah, you're not even a couch potato. She claims she has no money, yet she's always getting fast food. It's not my business to police what she eats or how she spends money, but with everything else, this really grates on me. Understandably so. She leaves for work and doesn't feed the dog, so I feed him to get him to leave me alone. He follows me around. I don't want to do this because I think it confuses him. He's in her room most of the day while she's at work. She's walked him like 10 times total in 4 months, so I know he's bored. He's crazy energetic and gets zero stimulation, so when my reactive dog gets mad at him, her dog reacts in an over-the-top aggressive way. He's obviously bored and confused about the rules, and he just seems very insecure all the time. I like the dog a lot, but I don't like the situation. Yesterday, I was sitting on my porch trying to relax. I have PTSD and I have a pretty bad trigger episode yesterday. I was sitting outside on my back porch when she comes outside with the dog, and it immediately wants to play with her, as dogs do. She ignores it and wants me to give her some of the booze I was drinking. Go ahead, give the dog nothing, but take my booze. I was sitting in a chair with my reactive dog, big mistake, my fault, and my dog got angry at her dog because he wouldn't stop bugging her. He does that because I interact with him more than her, which I hate, by the way. They ended up getting into a scuffle, and I was trying to pull her dog off mine when she reached in between them. What the F? And she ended up getting bit by my dog, so she claims I couldn't see what happened. Why would you put your hand in between?
I know why. Because she's got stupid idiot syndrome.
She got stupid idiot syndrome, and she doesn't know how to take care of her dog.
I'm a big stupid idiot, and I'd like one dog that's not easy to take care of, please.
She had to get 3 stitches. I don't feel bad because her dog had attacked both my dogs numerous times, and I paid $150 on vet bills, plus about $200 on the plants he's killed by peeing on them.
Oh, so she completely didn't pay for the plants that her dog killed. Oh, that's cool. So no consequences.
Tony Spiliaco says I'd call the shelter and express concerns about an owner who recently adopted from them and about the well-being of the animal, then ask for advice on what to do. I think that's a great idea. I think so. I think they could probably take the dog away.
Can you do like a CPS thing for the dog?
DPS?
Because, I mean, technically, you're saving the dog, but maybe it's a no euthanization shelter. So I know a lot of places where it's like they get a dog and it's like, well, you got a time limit, buddy, and if you don't hit it, well, I guess we're going to have to send you up to the big dog pillow in the sky. And I don't like that.
This morning, she was like, I think we need to be both more aware of our dogs. And I couldn't believe it. I was shocked, and I kind of blew up. Not yelling, just crying and sobbing and trying to talk while sobbing. I told her that her dog gets no walks. She doesn't pick up after him. He also peed on one of my living room chairs 3 days ago, which she didn't clean up and she never apologized for. She doesn't train him. She won't potty train him. And I told her that it's her responsibility to train this dog. I don't need to be aware of my reactive dog because I'm 100% hypervigilant around her whenever her dog is out of its bedroom. I'm not spacing out and vaping when they're together like she is. I'm watching what's happening and their body language. It made me so angry when she said that. I'm getting upset just typing this out. I definitely regret all of this. This is the first time I've been a landlord, and I've learned a really important lesson. I'll never let another tenant have a pet in my home and will never feed her dog ever again. I'm unbelievably angry right now. She claimed she had no money, so she had to go to her parents and get them to pay the $35 copay for the stitches.
You're ordering takeout.
Stop ordering takeout if you don't have money.
Come on.
I have crappy health insurance, and I have already paid $350 for this dog's antics. And she was trying to make me feel bad about her paying $35 for her stitches. She also pays rent late every month. Get her out of there. Be like, hey, if you don't pay the rent on time, you have to leave.
Yeah, I think you get to do that, right? As a landlord. I don't know anything about it, but that's got to be such a hard situation for OP because like they're clearly very empathetic for the animals and you're losing a friend because of this situation. And if you really do watch an animal, like you can like glean like a lot from just observing their behavior. And so she's feeling more for the dog than like, but she's like, yeah, this dog, it's like, it just sucks. This dog has a terrible owner. And
but you know who takes care of you guys? Us. By joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. Just tap our profile. We'll take care of it. But there is a little bit left to the story. We have a lease and I don't want to go through the process of evicting her. So I plan to amend the lease with a bunch of rules to make it clear what is her responsibility. Tenant must pick up after dog. Tenant must pay for any damages inflicted by dog. Tenant must keep dog contained when tenant is not home, etc. I'm so angry about all of this, and I have a million other things going on, so of course it makes this whole situation more stressful, as I don't have time to deal with it. Please don't adopt a dog if you can't properly care for it. Have a great day, all. XOXO. Yeah, you have to put more rules in it if she's not listening to them.
Yep, but then I bet you she still won't listen. You're still probably going to have to hound her and go after her for any of the damages that she causes or any of the rules that she breaks. And at the end of the day, you'll probably still end up taking care of the dog because you're empathetic and you're going to see that the dog needs something or wants something. And you're going to be in the same place. So she needs to leave. You need to evict her or you need to discuss with her about how she is going to move on.
But that is the end of that story. My roommate wants to end their contract because they found out I own the house. What should I do? This is OKOP, home of the craziest true stories on earth. I'm Sophia, and Riley, what should OP do?
You can force people to stay, right?
That's a little bit scary.
But I mean, like, if
you say you have to stay here.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to leave.
Just do that. If it's putting you that much in a bind, just force them to stay.
Yeah, I don't know how contracts work, but I feel like you're not allowed to just skedaddle.
Whenever we moved in, Sam was just like, sign these papers as fast as you can.
And I'm assuming they're legally binding.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
We haven't left since.
Yeah. I don't know actually how to segue now that I can't say spill that tea.
This is perfect. Okay. Yeah, just do it now. Just be like, segue.
Segue. That's the new.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Segue.
Let us know if you like that one better.
Yeah, because you guys really hate spill that tea.
It really hurt John's feelings.
Yeah, John really tried to make it a thing. So you burning my bridges 72 says. Also, sorry for my voice. I had laryngitis and it's slowly coming back.
She went to a concert. She would not stop screaming.
This isn't true, but if it makes me sound cooler, then it is true. So, Birding My Bridges 72 says, brief backstory. About a year ago, my last remaining grandparent passed away, and my father inherited all assets, including a house.
Oh.
I had been saving for a nice down payment, at least 50%, so I could have a lower mortgage payment each month, thus allowing me to save money for travel. That's great. That's a great deal. When my father inherited this house, which he had no interest in moving into yet, he offered to sell it to me for slightly below market rate, with the caveat that he and my stepmother could eventually move into the basement apartment. Interesting. I agreed because they're both incredible people who are not at all invasive and would give me privacy if they lived there. So I paid a 60% down payment, financed the rest, and moved in. That's what do you think about that arrangement, Riley?
That is like great money skills. Well, that's what I'm looking at is like how well they handle their finances.
Yeah, and also if you like your parents, I feel like that's vibes.
That's true. Would you want your parents to live in your basement?
I don't know if they would want to live in my basement. I don't know if I could convince my parents to like live in a basement, but maybe it's a really nice basement.
Yeah, I think I would.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty chill.
Oh, you think you would have your parents live? Not that you would live in a basement.
No, like they would live in the basement.
They would live in the basement.
I'd feel bad. If the basement was cool, I'd live in it. But I'd be cool with like my parents living that close.
Yeah, no, that would be fine. Present day. About 6 months ago, I started considering renting out the finished basement apartment. It had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a living room, and a small kitchenette, sink, fridge, microwave, but no oven. A friend of mine said his brother was moving to my city and needed a place. He's a brand new teacher and doesn't make great money, so he needed a place that wasn't expensive. I offered to let him rent my basement for way less than market rate, $650, which would include utilities. He readily accepted and signed a year-long lease. Wait, the market rate is $650 and OP is renting for less? Is that the deal? Because that's great. Maybe just because I live in LA, I'm like, wow, $650?
I was paying like around $600.
That's crazy.
Like $550 for rent and utilities.
For your own room?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's so nice. Oh, wow. Everything is cheaper not in LA. Well, a few days ago, he asked if he could start paying the landlord directly instead of giving me rent money each month. I was under the impression my friend had told him I own the house, so I was confused, and I told him we don't have a landlord and that I'm the owner. He got very upset and screamed at me for lying for over 6 months and taking advantage of him by making him pay so much in rent. For the record, an apartment similar to the one in my house would be well over twice what he's paying me, closer to 3 times for something as nice. He asked how much of my mortgage he's covering, and I said, why does that matter? You're getting a nice, quiet place to live, access to a full kitchen and laundry room, and you're paying an amount that you can afford. My personal finances aren't really a factor here. He stormed out of the room and slammed the basement door. He's still not speaking to me. I feel like that's like a him problem. Like, if you don't realize, like, I feel like you should ask who your landlord is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's like the first thing you should do.
Yeah, so far I feel like it's both of their problems. Like, one, like...
It should be clear, but like...
clear communication everywhere around.
Like, someone should have told this guy. But also, like, after 6 months, you didn't know that they were your landlord. I don't know. And also, it seems like he's getting a good deal. But yeah, they should...
But he doesn't know that. He thinks it's just like...
I don't know.
Regular, because it looks like he's new to the world.
He's new to the world. He's never been in a house.
Never been
in a house. He's never been in a basement.
Never had to pay bills.
No, never, ever. I asked a few other friends and some family members, and most said I'm wrong for having him cover my mortgage payments. Only a few say I'm in the right. So am I the a-hole for having my roommate cover $650 of my $775 per month mortgage? No. I mean,
you've done like 60% of the work already.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, I don't know how, what do you think, Riley? You say no?
No, because like she put 60% of a down payment down.
Yeah, that's true.
And like she knows what the market rate is in her hometown, and she's giving this guy a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what? This mortgage is $775, and he's paying like most of it.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't make sense. What do you think? Is this fair?
I mean, this is kind of tricky because I feel like that, like, I feel like if I found out that the mortgage was like that much, like it might, or for this guy, it might be like, oh, well, I'm paying way more than you're paying for the mortgage, but also it's like, it's, you know, they put the down payment. So
yeah. It's the down payment for me. If I didn't know the down payment, I'd be like,
yeah, but maybe I don't know.
I have an okay story time.
Okay.
About
we'll come
some
back.
roommates.
I guess I just don't know about too much about mortgages yet.
Yeah.
I can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah. The only way I could buy a house is if I find a cougar Malibu, Malibu cougar.
A cougar Malibu.
A cougar Malibu.
A cougar from Malibu in the hills.
Exactly.
Like an actual cougar.
No, like an older lady.
No, like an actual cougar that you teach tricks. And then you take on the road and they start bringing in a bunch of money.
Actually, that might be better than the other route.
Exactly.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Well, the other route would be fun.
And okay. ETA. He has a lease, so I won't be evicting him over this alone. If he does any damage or becomes hostile, I'll look at the eviction process. But for now, he will remain unless he chooses to break the lease, which I'd allow him to do if he wants. I guess that's nice. He also didn't bother to read the lease before signing. The lease clearly states I'm the homeowner. I didn't trick him or keep info from him. He simply didn't read what he was signing. That changes everything.
Yeah.
You should always read the lease before you get into you should always read any contract before you get into like any sort of deal. Because did you not read the contract, Riley?
No, Sam just said signing for this house. He just said it's fine, just sign it. You don't have to read it. It was like 50 pages long. Did you read it?
Yes.
You read 50 pages of the contract lease?
I skimmed. You skim it. You go through the most important parts. Some of it's not important.
I was just
also
all in.
Like the main contract wasn't 50 pages. It was just like, here's the lease.
It was a lot.
It wasn't that much.
I just signed it. Just
Riley
boom,
doesn't
boom, boom,
know
boom.
that everyone but him is an owner, and we're all making him pay 90% of the mortgage.
Dang, that is a cheap mortgage then.
For listeners, I'm joking. This is not true. Riley's getting a completely fair and equal deal, and we didn't stick him in the basement. There's no basement.
I signed an NDA, so I really can't say
we can't tell you anything more. I didn't get the house for almost free, as some people choose to believe. My father sold it to me for about 75% of its value, more or less, as an advance on rent he and my stepmother will pay when they move in here in a few years. Wait, so it was the father's before.
Yeah.
So they saw, no, because I feel like if you get it from your parent, that also changes things too.
That does, yeah. But they still put 60% down. Of 75%. I want to know how much this cost.
Yeah, it seems like
I'm gonna do the math.
Do some math. We got sold it to me for about 75% of its value. I don't know. I can't do math. Someone else do the math. Take all the numbers that we have been spouting and tell me if you think this is fair or not. We already agreed they won't pay monthly rent, but will contribute to utilities and groceries at that time. I also made a 60% down payment, so I have quite a bit invested, as well as paying about $1,500 per month out of pocket for taxes, insurance, maintenance, utilities, etc. Okay, so they are paying a considerable amount each month.
Yeah.
I feel like, so it's like the renter is paying $650 out of like the $750, and then they're paying that extra $100 plus the $1,500. So that's like,
oh wow. But the guy doesn't know. It sounds like the guy doesn't know, and you just need to clearly communicate that to him.
But also like how much. Yeah, well, I guess it's being upfront and stuff. But also he should read the lease. I think I feel like that's the first step. Read the lease, and then if you still have questions, you can go talk to the landlord. This is some more info from OP's comments. I have no rules regarding when he uses the kitchen or laundry room. I work long hours, so I'm not home a lot of the day and evening. He gets in about 4 p.m. and I'm not back until closer to 8 p.m. He has full access to the entire first story, including a full kitchen and a laundry room. My name is on the lease. He didn't bother to read before signing. They're really driving that home. And then Adept Profit 9525 says, I bet utilities are at least $350 a month altogether. The man got a bargain. OP also says utilities and internet plus TV, which he has full access to, total almost $550 a month. Yeah, no, it seems like $650 is for your own room is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Like you're for a house that you have pretty much full access to, and one roommate plus two parents later. Like that's pretty good. I think OP is fine, I think.
But also he's new to the world and he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. The guy has never been out of...
Like this is your first house that you've moved into.
Yeah.
Well, no, you had an apartment before.
Yeah, but I've never lived in a house besides like my parents' house.
That's true.
Yeah. So I can't speak too much on mortgages yet. But any of you out there who pay mortgages, tell us your thoughts.
Let us know if this is a okay deal or not.
Yeah. Also, like if anyone, for the future, so we know if.
Give us some advice too.
If we're like, we want to buy a house, or if we want to make sure we're getting a fair landlord deal. Okay. Where did I ever say he was paying the utilities? I pay those for the entire house, including his apartment. My out of pocket is $1,500 in addition to his rent, which is stated clearly in the post. I'm only friends with his brother, and he thinks he's an absolute moron for being mad over cheap rent. Aww. He came over here yesterday and basically told his brother what an idiot he is, which made me laugh since I could hear him from upstairs. Emergency, I can't say your name because it's got a bad word in it. Says, have you ever had an interaction with your renters since his brother told him off? OP says, not at all. He uses his separate entrance to come in and out, and hasn't been to the first story in days. I can hear movement and noise in the basement, so I know he's there. He's just like living in the basement, not interacting with anyone. Emergency person says, have you talked to your friend after he told off your renter? I'm wondering how the outcome of their discussion went. OP says, briefly, he had no clue why his brother's acting this way. Curious by Moon says, wonder why he moved out of the last place. OP says his last place was his parents' house after graduation, and before that was a dorm. This is the first place he's lived on his own and paid his own rent. That makes so much sense because that's like such a fair, like that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No, my first place was over $1,000 because it was La Jolla. I went to UCSD, and so La Jolla is like the closest place you can be in, and La Jolla is so expensive.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Yeah. No, so I think this guy, I think you called it. This guy's, this is his first, that's such a good deal for your first place out of college.
I want to move in.
Yeah, let us in. We'll take his place. We actually have a pretty good deal. Okay.
So, are they the a-hole?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
After all this,
After
are they
all
the
that,
a-hole?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. What do they need to do though?
It
seems he's still unhappy.
It seems like he's so unhappy seeing as he hasn't like talked to them. He's just been in the basement.
Is there any way to mend this bond?
I don't know. I guess like at that point you just kind of have to be like, sorry, I'm the landlord.
Yeah.
But that's like that is also just like a weird power dynamic in a household. So maybe that's like something you just can't. I don't know.
And then another point, I don't know if we've mentioned it. OP is a female. And he's a guy, so I don't know how old she is. They said female in here.
I know, but then you said guy. Anyway.
A male and okay.
Yeah.
This is something me and her have been working through.
We've been working through it.
Apparently,
I'm trying to teach her.
Let's talk about this right now.
We're not going to talk
We're not
talking about it. Anyway.
She doesn't want to be proven wrong.
Yeah, so OP is a woman and this guy is like her brother's friend or something.
I'm going to assume that the male is like 23.
Well, he's just out of college too, right?
Yeah,
or is he?
Yeah, right out of college.
He's right out of college. So he could be anyone from like 21 to 23, depending on how long it took him to get to college.
I'm just thinking from a 23-year-old perspective.
Yeah.
And like the woman, I don't know how old she is, but it sounds like I'm going to put her around like maybe like 27 or
I feel like she has to be like late 20s or early 30s maybe.
Early 30s, yeah. So if he might, there's like, here's my conspiracy theory.
If
there's like a little bit of like a, ooh, I kind of like you kind of vibes. And then he's like felt betrayed and this whole thing in his head's getting screwed up.
I don't know. He just seems like
that's why he's so upset.
That's why. That's just all coming together. I feel like he just doesn't know like what fair renting prices are. And he's like, well, because this is $750 and I'm paying $650, that's not fair. But in reality, like that's a pretty good price for.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We'll just get to the update.
Thank you for your conspiracy. But there's an update.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay. I intended to speak to him over the weekend, but he never returned my texts asking when a good time to discuss things would be. So Sunday afternoon, I sent a text stating I would be entering the basement at 6 p.m. Monday evening. He never replied. When I went into the basement, some of his belongings were there, but some weren't. Bed was there, but no dresser or side tables. And the second bedroom he was using as an office has nothing but boxes. The kitchenette was disgusting. The carpets were filthy, and the walls had dents and divots in them, and the paint. I left him a note stating he needs to do some repairs and clean the kitchenette so as not to attract vermin. Then I went back upstairs. Well, he came back in today early this morning and was fuming at me for entering the basement without permission. I told him I had given him more than 24 hours notice per the lease via text message before entering his area. His reply was that he didn't get that because he blocked my number. So somehow it's still my fault for not informing him I would be down there. I asked him if he intends to stay out the lease or if he wants to break it. He said he's leaving and will live in his car until he finds a new place. I told him that's fine and that if he has all his belongings out by the end of the month, I won't make him pay September and half of October's rent as the lease requires, and I'll refund the days he isn't here. Hold on. This is crazy. This is crazy.
He's gonna live in his car?
He's going to live in his car instead of paying $650 for rent for his own room.
And this dude's a teacher.
He's a teacher?
I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have that type of money. This is an insane reaction. I'm sorry. Even if I wasn't happy about like, the landlord being also my roommate, you suck it up.
Yeah.
You suck it up for $650. Like landlords aren't all, always the best.
And she doesn't seem overbearing or crazy.
But also, like there are some laws. Like 24 hours is the legal,
Yeah.
That is the thing that they can do. And that's crazy. I can't believe his choice. He chose living in his car over living in like the seemingly nice basement.
I'm just imagining him coming to school on a Monday after living in his car all weekend. And then the kids are like, Mr.
Give him a name.
Mr. The only thing that comes to mind is Smith. Mr. Smith, why do you smell so funny? Mr. Smith, you haven't shaved in a couple days. Are you okay?
Because all kids notice. They're like, Mr. Smith, you haven't shaved in a couple of days. Have you ever asked your teacher? Have you ever pointed that out?
I mean, I do know when they're having a good day and a bad day.
That's just a side thing. I don't know how it relates. Kids these days are crazy. That's all I got. That's the overarching thing. They're on their iPads. Okay, wait. Let's get back to the story.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Okay. He tried to tell me he doesn't need to pay that rent because he has 45 days to vacate, but that's only the notice period if he intends to leave. The lease still requires rent for those 45 days. So he's mad about that. I told him I'm being kind by letting him out early with zero financial repercussions. He was also told he's required to leave the apartment as clean as it was when he moved in, which was spotless since I had it professionally cleaned prior to his lease beginning, or he would not get his deposit back. He's throwing a tantrum about that too. He seems to be working on clearing the rest of his stuff out now. I told him when he's done, send me a notice in writing, text or email, and I'll send him a refund for the days in August he isn't occupying the apartment. I have indoor Ring cameras that I turned off when he moved in, but I've turned them back on until he's gone. I don't trust that he won't do more damage. Right now, I've locked myself in my office on the second story since he's really mad and was throwing things around the basement main kitchen. His brother and sister-in-law are also coming over in the next hour or so because I don't feel entirely safe being alone in the house with them. As soon as he gives me notice that he's completely vacated the apartment, I'll be deleting all the passwords and codes for all the deadbolts, alarm system, internet, etc., so he can't access anything at all. I'm ready to be done with him and to feel safe in my own home again. Thanks to all who read the original post on Am I the A-hole? I'll post any additional updates here on my profile, though I hope this is the end of it. It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, started throwing stuff.
Like he's made a mess in of course there's, when you move out, there's wear and tear that you shouldn't be charged for. But it seems like he's done a little bit more than wear and tear.
Yeah. In a way, it's a good thing he's moving out because if he's this type of person, he's not respecting your place. And it sounds like it's a nice house.
It sounds like it was a nice house that OP did a lot of work on. And it's, and they want to make it keep it nice for when their parents move in. And I feel like it's their first house. They might be their first house that they bought.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it sounds like this guy's a nightmare.
Yeah. Good thing he's moving out.
Yeah. Good thing he's leaving. But we got some comments from OP. He made some vague threats. Nothing I feel I should call the police over, but I still let his brother know just in case. My friend's wife is mad and is on her way over. My friend will be here after he finishes work. Mimi Mouse 66 says, reality is going to slap him so hard in the face. I agree. Mimi Mouse. OP says, I think it already has. He moved all his stuff out, notified me of his complete vacancy of the apartment, and is already whining to his brother about not being able to find anything online in his price range, which I'm told is $800 per month with utilities included. He won't find that where we are unless he shares a bedroom with at least one other person. Why? Why did he complain? I feel like if you are upset with your landlord, but you're getting a good price that you can afford, just deal with it.
And there's nothing for him to actually be upset
There's
about.
nothing to be upset about. Oh my God. Also, this is I think it's even crazier that this is his friend's, or this is his brother's friend.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was trying to imagine one of my brother's friends, but I live with my brother's friends now. So it doesn't exactly work.
That's Christian. I don't know.
Yeah, Christian.
Am I your brother's friend?
I guess so, but I feel at the same time.
We didn't start as friends.
Yeah.
Okay, Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Just imagine Christian doing
Christian. Moving in and being like, this is Alex into my house, because in this scenario I own the house.
Yeah.
And he starts damaging things. That'd be crazy. Oh, and finally, OP's comment 3 months later. The former tenant begged to come back, but I declined. Oh my God. Actually, I offered him the apartment for over market value. Market value is about $2,500. And I told him he could come back for $3,300 to make him go away. He also declined my offer. No idea where he ended up. But after some of the names he called me after I wouldn't let him back, I don't care.
Ooh.
Oh my God. The market value is $2,500 and he was paying $650. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yikes.
Wow. This guy ruined his life.
Yeah. He's just living out of his car. Which could be a vibe if you do it right. I've seen a lot of videos about it.
Well, yeah, the what are they? The people living in vans, van life.
Yeah, van life or car life.
Car life, van life, car life. That's not the problem. It's just that he gave up a really good living situation because he threw a hissy fit, and then he's like, I want to come back. No, I don't like it. I'm still good friends with his brother. He's a good guy who laughed when I told him about my offer of $3,300 a month. I didn't ask where the former tenant landed. I like that OP's like the former tenant. Like, it's no longer my. It's very formal.
No longer the brother's friend.
No longer the brother's
friend.
The friend. Oh, the friend's brother. Yeah, there we go. It's the former tenant. I'm sure he has several roommates, but again, I don't really care. I will not be renting it out again anytime soon. I had to do some repairs, so I'm hesitant to let anyone else in. I may let my cousin's daughter move in next year, but I know her and know she's respectful of people's property, unless my parents move in before them. But definitely no more renting to strangers.
Nice.
Yeah.
That seems like a good call.
It seems like a good call. Yeah.
I feel kind of bad for their relationship, like OP and the friend, because like,
oh yeah,
she did not see that the friend's brother was crazy. Like, do you think it hindered? But the friend also kept his brother in check. He's like, "Why are you being an idiot?"
I'm glad that the friend's brother, or the friend to his brother was like, "Hey, you need to slow your roll, my guy."
Yeah,
it didn't work, but.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried, and that's good. Yeah, I'm glad that your OP and the friend's relationship is so solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. And the former tenant is out of the picture.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe the friend refers to his brother as the former tenant too. He's like,
God,
oh,
dude,
yeah, you know that guy I'm related to, the former
out.
tenant. Yeah.
I have a okay story time.
Oh, yeah. What's the okay story time?
So, whenever I was moving out of my apartment, my brother was asking some of his friends about like, who would like to move in and whatever. So we talked to one of our friends. And we were like, oh, this was how much it would be. This is what you would get. Yada, yada. He's like, well, I have a deal right now and I'm not going to let it out. Apparently his apartment cost around $500 or $550 a month. Like 2-bedroom.
It costs $550 a month for 2 bedrooms?
I live in like the middle of nowhere.
That's insane.
Anyways, so overall it's like around $600, $650 a month. He had his roommate paying $500 out of the $550 a month.
Wait.
Yeah, but he's paying the utilities though.
Okay.
He's renting. So like, he's on the lease and he's taking it from the roommate.
Wait, he's not the owner.
He's not the owner.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't know.
That's kind of,
that's not great. I did that with my name on the lease. My brother and I are on the lease.
Yeah.
But if I did that to my brother and like he found out and my parents found out.
I feel like that's what this guy thinks the situation is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not great. If you're both on the lease and you're making one person pay all
But he's not on the lease. It's just my friend.
Oh, he's subletting?
He's subletting.
Basically.
I'm
but they're both
sure.
living there.
They're both living there.
So he's not exactly subletting, but like, well, I guess that is the definition of subletting.
That's what I gathered.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And he said he's been trying to buy a house for the past year or so, but I don't know.
Oh my God.
He's saving a lot of money.
Yeah, because he's not paying the rent. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's insane. Dad's room reeks so bad, it's probably a health hazard. How do we convince him to clean up? Hey, all, my 61 male dad sleeps in his own room downstairs ever since my mom, 63 female, caught him cheating. Oh. That's another story.
I want to read that story.
Yeah. And the state of his room has declined in the almost 20 years since that event.
Oh.
20 years. You still living with your mom for 20 years?
Yeah. Like, maybe it was like a generation, like we don't divorce type situation, but we're just going to co-inhabitate.
That's crazy.
Cohabitate.
The exposition to my problem is rather long, but a fun read. So if you'd like to skip, just search for the next paragraph. He always neglected personal hygiene, but it wasn't always as rancid as it's come to be. By the way, this comes from JCJC on the OK Storytime subreddit. So it was 2008 when he was exiled to the room, and I remember him bringing the family couch in there to use for sleeping. I suppose we figured he would get a mattress eventually to replace the couch, but that same couch is still in there today. 2024.
Okay, it's not 20 years later.
That couch was probably bought in 2000. That's 24 years later.
What?
2024.
Oh,
couch was probably bought in
2008. When he moved into
It was 2008 when he exiled to that room, but they're saying the couch has been there.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's older than a lot of my friends, and he's sleeping on it. It's never been washed since he brought it into the cave, not once. Granted, he isn't sleeping directly on the couch raw. He's got some sheets, but they aren't fitted couch sheets. They're bed sheets.
He's like, they're not raw dogging it.
Yeah, he's not just touching the couch. I just know those sheets are slipping off the couch regularly, and the couch is unearthed, getting a fresh new layer of oil and grime from the day's activities. I'm actually baffled that his back still works since that couch isn't really that comfy. I wonder if he's forgotten the pleasure of how a bed feels to lie on.
You don't remember.
He's like, I've forgotten the soft caress of my bed. Anyway, he told me today he washes his sheets about every 8 weeks? 2 months? No. That's nasty. However, knowing him, he's definitely shaving a few weeks off that estimate so it doesn't sound as bad. Last time I looked at his pillow, it had reddish brown stains, blood, and carried a yellow hue oil. He has eczema and can be prone to little sores, bleeding, I suppose. But I think sleeping on something Nurgle would enjoy isn't a great situation when you have skin issues.
Is that the dad's name is Nurgle?
No, it's like, I think there's like a monster or something named Nurgle.
What? What do you?
I'm assuming it's some kind of disgusting monster, and OP's like, sleeping on something that like this disgusting monster would like is not good for her dad.
Okay, got it.
Also, it doesn't help that when he gets home, he fries food in a bunch of butter with garlic and onion and brings that into his room and lets it rot a while.
What does that mean? What do you mean you're letting it rot?
I don't like that. Like, of course, the 2 most pungent ingredients are his favorite, and I love garlic and onion myself, but man, just bring the dishes up after you're done, for goodness sake.
But this guy's living like the bachelor life, and he's like 62.
I think he only sometimes showers in the morning. It really adds to the ambiance of it all. I know a lot of people shower in the morning, but I think that doesn't work well for him when he comes home from work all sweaty. My mom showers in the morning as well, but her room is not a cesspool, and she's overall much more hygienic. I am a morning shower.
I'm both.
You do 2?
I took 2 showers. The first one in the morning I clean with soap.
Yeah.
And at night I just wet my body because it helps me go to sleep.
I do morning shower unless I've done some sort of physical activity. Like after I go climbing, I'll just do a little soap down because I got a lot of chalk on me. Anyway, moving on from the couch, the rest of the room is declining as well. The floor has this dark green carpet that gets vacuumed maybe twice a year, usually by my mom, by the way. Oh, funny story. I saw brown patties on the floor in there. It was dog poop that was stepped on so many times due to it existing there for so long. My dog is potty trained, so I'm not sure why he pooped in there. Perhaps the stench suggested he was allowed to do his business in there. And to be fair, my dad will pee in cups, seeing as it's just too inconvenient to stand up and walk about 15 feet to the bathroom downstairs. This is...
What?
Why is he still living there if he's not even... it doesn't seem like him and the mom are still married.
Dude, yeah, there's piss in cups.
I don't blame my dog for mistaking the room for a bathroom, honestly. I do worry about mold hiding in that room, though.
Yeah.
I think you have to get your dad to therapy.
Yeah, what's going on?
Very quickly.
That's like
the fact that this has been going on for 20 years.
The quintessential sign of depression if they're living in it's like stench.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And urine.
My dad has a side gig working on people's fish tanks, and naturally he set up one in his room. It was a cute saltwater tank with some live coral and clownfish. Over time, algae obstructed the view until the glass was completely dark green. I hope they didn't suffer long. No pet deserves to be neglected immediately after being acquired. But I can't imagine his neglect would extend further if this tank had any sort of leak. He absolutely would ignore a leak if he managed to even notice first of all, to avoid doing any labor at home when he gets time to relax. The real kicker to this is when my brother's girlfriend gave us her old, but still totally nice, mattress for my dad to replace the couch with, and it's been rotting in the garage for at least 2 months now. Not even shielded with a plastic cover. At first, his excuse was that his room was too full of randomly stored items of everyone, so it became my mom and I's responsibility to move that stuff out so there was room for a bed. His excuse today was that he didn't have any time. I get it. Time is not abundant, but my dude, you sit in your room for at least 3 or 4 hours a day watching TV on your phone or napping. Yeah, truly, I think the solution, you need to somehow get him some help.
This is not an issue.
This is a mental health crisis.
Agree.
Yeah.
This is not an issue of cleanliness. This is not an issue of hygiene. Yeah. This is something's
deeply wrong.
Yeah, something's going wrong.
Yes.
And I can't imagine that your dad shows up to his room like this and doesn't show up to the rest of his life and the rest of his relationships, including you, with the same amount of whatever is happening there.
I think there is a level of dirtiness that, sometimes people are dirty. Sometimes you have different standard of cleanliness. But at this point, it's gotten to like this is.
Yeah, if there's poop on the floor, if there's urine in cups, if there's food rotting, something's going on. Yeah. I want to hear more context on like what your guys' relationship is, because I can't imagine him having any positive relationships in his life if his room is like this. And I'm not saying that is an insult. I'm saying
no, it's just like it's impossible to have that
for him. Yeah.
Mom and I took a lot of stuff out of your room as well to help you, but I'm not touching that couch. Sorry. If we took that couch outside and burned it, I think the oil would make it burn for 8 magical days. But he's not bothered by any of this, at least not to my knowledge. He's seemingly not embarrassed either, but I sure am when I bring home friends. One friend even took a picture of the vacant room like it was some Nat Geo habitat.
It's like at a museum. They're like, ooh,
wow,
as
nice.
They walk by.
It's kind of rude, but the level of stank it had rose into since yesterday is what prompted me to write this. It's so sour and pungent, I can smell it clearly at the top of the stairs and even faintly in the kitchen. When he came home, his odor filled most of the upstairs up quickly, and with my room across from his downstairs, my little sanctuary is being assaulted from the olid essence of my father. He told me the cat litter is to blame. No, it's not the cat litter.
It might be the cat litter.
It's, honestly, did you think about the cat litter?
Did you
take out the cat litter?
litter?
It seems like it could be the cat litter.
Possibly the cat litter.
It's absolutely a human-derived stench. So tell me, Reddit, if there is something we can do. I'm not aware of any mental illness he suffers from. Perhaps there is one, but he'll never go to the doctors for a diagnosis or go on medicine to treat it. We have helped him clean his room to an extent, but that should not be our responsibility for a grown man who has previously held a janitorial position cleaning bathrooms for others, but comes home and neglects his own. By the way, we would never neglect you. If you join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, just tap our profile. But there is a little bit left. I forgot to mention there's no windows in his room to vent out the smell. Also, I know I made jokes about the smell and the state of his room, but I truly am worried and care about his well-being. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here seeking help. All people deserve a clean place to sleep. He has no sanctuary. He's a stubborn man. I don't think he cares much what my mom and I have to say. How can we break through and convince him to clean regularly? Is this just his personality, or could there be an underlying cause? I think there absolutely is an underlying cause. Oops, sorry.
I don't think it's a personality trait to just neglect yourself. I think that, that stems from, if you're treating your room like that, I can't imagine how you treat yourself internally.
Yeah.